that we're messing up. So this is hot, Scott. It's hot, 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 hot. Hello? Not good. Fixed it, Scott? Sounds better? You coming on Tuesday, Scott? I heard you were trying to get the day off. I vetoed that. I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. We need to, everyone's got to be here. What is it about right here? Were you messing with something right now? Every time I walked right here, it's like, hello? Hi, Scotty? Hello. What's the gain at? Is it high? All right, we're going to switch. Someone else can talk. Let me go. Thanks, buddy.
Check. Whoa. Hello. Hot mic. Bring that up. All right. How's this going as we bring it up? Walking up near the middle as we walk across the center stage, coming through here. Talk loud. Here we go. Come across. Anyone? We're good here? Whoa. Hello. Coming across. Back over to the left. Let's go. Keep going. It's nice and warm outside. We got new silvers in the house. It's fantastic. It sounds like we're doing all right. We're good. You just need me to come here and talk? Was it? Back the middle. Work it. Just work the middle. Work the middle. Do some turns. Pivot it. Come back this way. We're good. All right. We're good.
I'll be the last one standing, 2 hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle, I'm a soldier. Yeah, I'm a fighter like Rocky. Put your flag on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger. Bet my dues, can't lose, I'ma own ya. Yeah, I've been working my whole life, and now it's done. When they write my story, they're gonna say that I did it for the glory, but don't think that I did it for the fame, yeah. I did it for the love of the game, yeah. And this is my chance I'm taking. All them old records I'm breaking. All you people watching on the TV, you go ahead and put your bets on me. Yeah, I've been waiting my whole life to see my name in life. Unshakable, they knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You don't know my name, you can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this, yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion.
Born champion. The C is for the courage I possess through the drama. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent, the P is to persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary, cause I'm never giving up. See, they ask me how I did it, I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about his principles. Carry it.
I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You
too fast to prepare for this. Tripping in the world could be dangerous. Everybody circling as vultures, negative, nepotist. Everybody waiting for the fall of man. Everybody praying for the end of times. Everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this.
Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord, break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip, word upon your lip, lip, better that you rip, rip, break me down and build me up, whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes. Cause I love how it feels when I break the chain. Whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins.
I do what it takes. That I feel being typical. Looking at my body feeling miserable. Always hanging on to the visual. I wanna be invisible. Looking at my years like I'm not a dumb. Everybody needs to be a part of them. Never be enough from the prodigal son. I was born to run, I was born for this.
Whip, whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord, break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, slip, word upon your lip, lip, better that you rip, rip, break me down and build me up, whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes. Cause I love how it feels when I break the chain. Whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins.
I do what it takes. Critical, egotistical. Don't wanna be the parenthetical, hypothetical. Working out of something that I'm proud of. Out of the box, an epoxy to the world and the vision we've lost. I'm an apostrophe. I'm just a symbol to remind you that there's more to see. I'm just a product of the system of catastrophe. And yet a masterpiece. And yet I'm half deceased. And when I am deceased, at least I go down to the grave and die happily. Leave the body and the soul to be a part of me. I do what it takes.
Whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I do whatever it takes. Cause I love how it feels when I break the chain. Whatever it takes. Yeah, take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes. Cause I love the adrenaline in my veins.
I do what it takes.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the morning comes, and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun. Every argument, every word we can't take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind. Cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the evening falls and I'm left there with my thoughts and the image of you being with someone else, well, it's eating me up inside. But we ran our course, we pretended we're okay. Now if we jump together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we're in. But only for a minute, I want to change my mind. Cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So I'll go. I will go. So I'll go. I will go. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. Even though I might not like this, I think that you'll be happier. I want you to be happier. Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits, I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. So I'll go. I will go. You're fighting for bloodlust and a holy war. Listen up, hear the patriots shout. Times are changing. And the end, show us what's clear. Take a shot in the face of fear. Fist up in the firing line. Times are changing. Do you believe that you can walk on water? Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight? Look at the sky, see a dying star. White lies, it's a man on fire. Making love with the devil hurts. Times are changing. A thin line, the whole truth. Far right, the left view, breaking all those promises made. Times are changing. Do you believe that you can walk on water? Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight? Do you believe that you can walk on water? Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight? Do you believe on the water? 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 Do you believe that you can walk on water? Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight? Do you believe that you can walk on water? Do you believe that you can win this fight tonight?
Cold open.
I can't carry anymore. I'm waiting for somebody else to carry me. There's nothing that's there for me at my door. All the people I know aren't who they used to be. And if I try to change my life one more day, there would be nobody else to save. And I can't change into a person I don't wanna be. So, oh, it's Saturday night. I'm ready for the weekend of the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, it's Saturday night. I swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Every morning I fully got to wanna be who I couldn't say I'd ever been. But it's so much more than I ever was. If every night I go to sleep, no, that I give everything that I had to give. That it's all I could have asked for. I've been standing up beside everything I've ever said, but oh, it's Saturday night. I'm ready for the weekend of the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, it's Saturday night. I swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, it's Saturday night. Yeah. If I had one more day to wish, if I had one more day to be better than I could have ever been. If I had one more day to wish, if I had one more day, I could be better, but baby, oh, it's Saturday night. I'm ready for the weekend of the weekend. Mama, can I get another amen? Oh, it's Saturday night. I swear to God, I ain't never gonna repent. Mama, can I get another amen? It's Saturday night. Yeah. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. It's Saturday night. Yeah. Swear to God, swear to God, swear to God. It's Saturday night. Yeah. Here we go, here we go. It's about time that we set it off. Here we go, here we go. Red lights I could never stop. A dreamer with the fever to be great was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. A fighter with the fever for the fame was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. Got me singing like bang, 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 bang. This fire's a weapon. Bang, 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 bang. Won't stop till we're legend. Stop till we're legend. Here we go, here we go. It's my turn to make history. Here we go, here we go. When I'm gone, they'll remember me. Yeah, a dreamer with the fever to be great was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. A fighter with the fever for the fame was all I ever want, was all I ever wanted. Got me saying like bang, 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 bang. It's fire's a weapon. Bang, 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 bang. Won't stop till we're legend. Won't stop till we're legend. Won't stop till we're legend. sweat, I'll break my bones till all my scars be golden. My name's forever known. Blood, sweat, I'll break my bones till all my scars be golden. My name's forever known. Bang, 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 it's coming. Bang, bang, won't stop till we're legend.
Not a soul up ahead and nothing behind. There's a desert in my blood and a storm in your eyes. Am I the king of nothing at all? Then you're the queen of nothing at all. Well, I remember the fight and I forget the pain. I got my hand in your pocket and my key in your chain. Am I the king of nothing at all? Then you're the queen of nothing at all. Through the wilderness, you and I, we walk through the emptiness. My heart is a mess. Is it the only defense against the wilderness? Because my heart won't to die, taking this one step at a time. Cut your back if you got time. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. One foot in front of the other. Not a soul on the road, not a star in the sky. It's a desert in my heart and I know where to hide. I'm the king of nothing at all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexi. I am not your speaker. I'm just your host, and I'm here to give you a quick 2-minute warning. So if you have any cell phones, tablets, anything that might make noise, if you could please turn those off or silent. We have some water in the back if you're thirsty. Bathrooms are out the doors and to your right. And I will be back up in about 2 minutes to introduce our speakers.
It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good song. That hot blood in my body, it drops. I can't take my eyes off it. Moving so phenomenally. Like the way we rock it, so don't stop. It's under the lights, everything goes. Nowhere to hide, we're getting too close. When we move, I already know. To just touch it. I can see what you dance, 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 feel creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, 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 dance. I'm not leaving, so keep dancing. Can't stop the dance, so just dance, dance, dance. So just dance, dance, dance. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't be control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, that good song in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body, it drops. Whoa, I can't take my eyes off it. Moving so phenomenally. Come on, rock the way we rock it, so don't stop it. Lights, everything goes. Nowhere to hide, we're getting you close. When we move, I already know. So just I can see what you dance, creeping up on you, so just dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. So just dance. So just dance. So just dance. So keep dancing. Yeah. Can't stop. Can't stop. I can't stop the I can see you dance. Creeping up on you, so just dance. Things I shouldn't do, but you dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling. Got this feeling in my body.
Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Alexi. I'm not your speaker. I'm just your host. If you're just joining us, if you could grab a seat, any cell phones, tablets, watches, anything that might make noise, if you could please turn them off or silent. And I have the privilege this evening of welcoming up our guest speakers, Mark and Meredith Nathan. Mark and Meredith are in their 30s. They both have backgrounds in theater. Mark also has a background in corporate recruiting and Meredith in massage therapy. But that is not what they are here to talk to you about tonight. Tonight, they're here to break down a business opportunity that they utilized in their 20s on the side of their full-time jobs to create enough passive, ongoing income to essentially retire from their corporate careers at the ages of 27 and 29 years old. With that financial freedom, Mark recently co-authored a book called The Delusion of Passion, Why Millennials Struggle to Find Success. That landed him a spot on Amazon.com's Movers and Shakers list, an interview on Fox News, and the cover of Networking Times magazine. Mark and Meredith have been invited to speak all over the world in places like the Dominican Republic, Vancouver, and Australia to speak on the topics of leadership and entrepreneurship. So we're very privileged to have them in the room tonight. That being said, if financial independence or quite honestly just some more financial options are of any interest to you, I highly recommend you take out a notepad and help me welcome up Mark and Meredith Nathan.
Thank you, Alexi. Excellent. How's everyone doing? Good? Happy New Year! Hey! Welcome to 2019. I'm looking forward to sharing with you guys tonight. It's going to be a great New Year. The New Year is always fun because everyone's got all sorts of New Year's resolutions that they ignore. But then, but like for the handful of people that actually follow through on them, it's like glorious and it changes a lot. But anyway, like Alexi was saying, we are Mark and Meredith Nathan. Just so you know a little bit more about us and our background, where I'm coming from. Born and raised here in Chicago. Go Bears! Yeah! Yeah! We're totally going to blow it. But, like, we're in the playoffs, though, and it's good. You're shaking your head like it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. He's like, I'm shaking my hand because it's good. Okay. All right. This guy for Christmas, he got a positive mental attitude. Look at this guy. He's got positive expectation for these Bears. All right. But born and raised here in Chicago, went to school at Loyola University, graduated with a degree in theater and education, paid my way through school being an actor. That was a lot of fun. Did commercials, industrials, and theater and film. So that was cool. But when I was 21, I started my first business. I founded a film festival when I was coming out of college. And that was a really cool opportunity. It was really fun because it was just a really good reminder that we live in America and you can start stuff for yourself. How many of you guys started working when you were young? Anyone started working when you were young, like pretty young? What's your name, sir, in the glasses? Actually, both of you guys have glasses. I set you up to fail. All three of you, 4 of you in a row, I'll have glasses. That's my fault. I set you up to fail. What's your name, sir? Kwame. What was the first job you ever had?
I mowed lawns and I was a camp counselor
Camp counselor, 14 years old. Excellent. And what's your name, sir? Andy. What was the first job you ever had? I think you had your hand raised too, yeah? Yeah? What was the first job you ever had? Camp counselor? Was it the same camp? That's adorable. Best friends from, when they were 14. But they're totally going to have that conversation later on. They'll be like, so what camp was it, bro? Oh. But so camp counselor, 14 years old. Who else started working when you were young? Yeah? What's going on over here? What's your name? Savaris. Savaris, what was the first job you ever had? You were painting the curbs yellow? You're the reason I got the tickets. Is this guy? Just so everyone knows. It's Savaris. No, I'm going to ignore the part where you said you were 13. 13. Man, Chicago makes it work. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicago. That's not right. But so you're working 13, 14. I started working when I was 15 years old. I was a slacker, apparently. These guys are starting at 13, 14, highly illegal. But I started working when I was 15 years old. I was a sample boy at Jewel, which was great, like especially when you're a teenage boy and you just eat everything all the time. So it was awesome. But, when you start working that young, when you're 13, when you're 14 years old, you just get into this habit where you show up and you get you work your hours and you get that paycheck. You guys remember your first paycheck? You remember you get that little taste and you're like, yeah, I'm a productive member of society. Now I got this. And then, so what do you want to do? You want to make more money. So then you work some more and then you look for another job that's going to pay you a little bit more per hour. If you were making, $7 an hour when you're 13 years old, or $8 or $10 or whatever it is. Well, this job's going to pay you 11. You're like, yeah, let's go. And then you're going over here for 13 an hour. Oh man, if I go to college, then I can get even more per hour. And so all of a sudden you just kind of start going down this road where you're just chasing more money. Like, who's going to pay me the most amount of money for my time? And when I started that film festival when I was 21, it was amazing because it just hit the reset button. You stop getting in this mindset where you're just like chasing money and you realize, you know what, I can just go make my own. Now, I had no idea what I was doing. I was making it up as I went, but it would like help hit the reset button. And so I started doing the corporate thing. I was an executive recruiter in accounting and finance, and I did that for about 5 years. But as I was starting that career, Kwame, one of my buddies, Greg, he was an engineer during the day. And on the side of his engineering job, he was pulling in some pretty decent income. And I don't know if you guys know some of your buddies, they got like a little side hustle, or they got, something on the side. And anytime I hear about someone making something on the side, in my head, I think they're talking about $500 a month, a little $1,000 a month. Dude, my buddy Greg, he was pulling in $70,000 a year outside of his job. Yeah, so my face did that. What you just did right there. Your eyebrows went up. You start whispering to yourself, wow. Wow. Because really what you're doing, you're adding 70 grand to your income. We're just coming out of 2018. You guys know how much money you made in 2018, generally, right? If you had an extra 70 grand on top of that number, is that a more better number? Yeah, so that's what I was doing. In my head, I'm just like, you're doing what? On the side of what? And so I started adding money. And so of course, the first thing I asked him, well, like, dude, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And one of the things that he said, it was very obvious that this dude thought differently about money, okay? Because one of the first things he said to me, he said, Mark, it's not about what I'm doing, it's about who I'm learning from. I was like, So who you learning from, man? Let's go. Let's rock and roll. Hook a brother up. Make an introduction or something. And so he walked me through a little bit of a vetting process, just see if we were thinking along the same way. We were wired the same way. Got a chance to meet some good people. And Savaris, it changed everything, man. Just being able to chance to learn from some people that have actually done something and accomplished something. Not, learn from my mistakes. No, how about I learn from your successes? Is that a thing? Can I learn from things that you've done well? And so learning from some people that have done that and created some pretty decent income outside of their job, and not just more income, but it's about the type of income. See, if we're talking about financial freedom, because I'm guessing that's why we're here in the room tonight, right? Tonight we're talking about not just entrepreneurship, but we're talking about financial freedom. That's why I'm here anyway. I'm super uninterested in leaving my little 2-year-old kid and, taking time out to talk about making a couple $100. A couple $100 doesn't change anything, guys. Like if we're talking about 2019, how many of you guys want to just make a couple $100 extra in 2019 versus how many people want to change the game? Like I wanted to change the game, you know, I wanted to like change the whole thing. And so got a chance to learn from some great people, and it just changed everything. I appreciate the nice intro from Alexi, but I don't know, by the time I was 23, the passive income outside of my job was about 50 grand a year. By the time I was 25, it was like 90 grand a year. By the time I was 27, it was over 100 grand a year of passive income outside of my job. And that's when you just have options. You just have options. Like I opt to not go into work today. That's good. You call in sick, right? You call in sick to your job. How many people would like to call in well? You just want to be like, hey boss, I'm not coming in today. Oh, you're not feeling good? I feel great. Hence, not coming in today. Actually, that's why I'm not coming in today. But you know, it just gives you options. And so we left our job when it was about 9.5 years ago. And just the cool things you can do with financial freedom, it's a lot of fun. But anyway, I want to introduce my wife here real quick. She's awesome. She's phenomenal. She's more than just kind of like, you know, my buddy. You know, she's more than just my assistant or something. She actually got connected with this team when she was just coming out of college, went to Northwestern, started her massage therapy career. By the way, in that world, she's actually like nationally renowned. She just won the 2018 Pioneer of the Year Award from the National Massage Association for like things that she created multiple years ago. So she's unbelievable. 2018, that's old news, by the way. That was last year. So don't start throwing that around the house like you're some big deal, okay? It's 2019. All right, you milk that all year. No, we're in 20. No, I'm just joking. She's unbelievable at what she does. She loves what she does. But financial freedom, that's what it does. It allows you to do the things that you want to do, not the things that you had to do. And that's what freedom is all about. But anyway, you want to say hey real quick? This is my girl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Meredith Nathan. I am old news. But not to you. You're all meeting me for the first time. I'm brand new news, so that's good. So I am not originally from here. I'm originally from Bethesda, Maryland, if anyone's heard of it. Came over here to go to school, went to Northwestern University where I studied theater, music theater, poetry, playwriting. Pretty much as I was deciding what to major in, I said, is there any possible way I could get any kind of financial return on this area of study? And if the answer was yes, I said, no, thank you. I said, I only want to study things that will never pay me. No, that's not actually what I said, but it just kind of turned out that way, and clearly wasn't a very money-minded person, but I realized I was going to have to start thinking about that. You know, I had a bunch of friends that were in classes older than me, and I saw one by one a lot of them go out wanting to pursue their dreams and be an artist, and they still had to pay their bills and pay their rent and get food in their cupboards. So most of them went off and got 8 to 5, 9 to 5 jobs, and I saw one by one almost every single one of them burn out and stop pursuing the thing that they loved, because it's hard to pursue your dream with your leftovers at the end of the day. And so I witnessed that. I observed that. I said, I don't want that. So that's where I actually had the idea to go down the path of massage therapy. I mean, I was very interested for sure. Health and wellness was fascinating to me, and I thought it was an area I could really enjoy. But if we're just being real, I saw that it was a pretty good hour to dollar ratio compared to what my other theater friends were making, right? And so in my mind, I thought if I could work half the hours and make enough money to live comfortably, that would give me more of my time, energy, and resources to pursue the things I really wanted to pursue. I did end up really falling in love with that world, which was great. But as I was sort of launching that career, Mark and I got together to catch up, and we've been buddies back in school, but we had not seen each other for close to a year at that point. And as we were catching up and I was learning a little bit about, what he'd been up to and some of the people he was hanging with and just sort of observing him, I noticed that he was really playing at just a different level than I was. And back in college, he was a great guy, but he was like, Mr. Life of the Party. He was fun, but he wasn't the person that I was going to for life advice or wisdom or anything like that. And it was like in the year that I'd seen him, I had gone, because in school, does anyone relate to this in school? Like your mind's constantly getting fed and nurtured and grown, and then you graduate, and your professors, when you stop paying them, they actually stop hanging out with you, right? And so your brain goes from here to like here, right? That's kind of where I felt I was. And Mark and I were hanging out, and I felt like he'd gone from here to here. in terms of the way that he was thinking. And so I became very interested in learning more about who was he getting around? You know, who were some of these people that he was getting access to? And I really just sort of stalked him to see if I could get the same. So thankfully I was able to, and, you know, was able to make an extra, you know, $1,000, $1,500 a month. You know, for me though, I wasn't as interested in making a certain amount of money. Again, I wasn't a very financially minded person, as you can tell by my areas of major and concentration in Northwestern. But it was the type of income. It was the fact that this was the type of income that could be ongoing. You know, if you want to think of it as like a passive form of income when done right and correctly. And again, for me, the game was not really about let's create a ton of money. It was about how do I control my time so that I can do the things that I really want to do. So in any case, enjoyed doing that. Loved having a way to be really proactive with my brain and really proactive with my finances when I was just sort of building my life as a single lady. I will say though, I don't think I really fully appreciated the full benefit and impact of what we'd done until we got married. You know, it was probably 2 years later that we, you know, fell in love and got married and all that kind of good stuff. But that first year of marriage, I was dropping him off at the train station at 7 o'clock in the morning, picking him up at 6 o'clock at night. I do not like being up before 8 a.m. Just so you all know that about me. I don't like that at all. And certainly I don't like getting up earlier than 8 a.m. to drop my best friend off somewhere else so he can go spend the whole day with other people, right? And so because of what we built though, within that first year of marriage, Mark was actually able to retire from corporate America. And, you know, financial freedom is really nice no matter what age you are. And it's looked different in different seasons of our life. And that first season, we were still basically newlyweds, so it was a ton of dating. You know, it was like the never-ending date. You know, like, oh, it's a Monday. You know, let's sleep in and then let's go date. And oh, now it's Tuesday. We should celebrate by sleeping in and then go on a date. You know, and it just that's just kind of how it went. And it's been amazing, honestly. If you do the math on the number of hours we've actually spent together in our marriage, it's basically like we've had a whole lifetime together, and we're just at 10 years at this point, you know, which is just kind of cool. Very cool, I think. But, you know, it's been different in different seasons. It's been, in some cases, awesome travel opportunities. You know, there's been a lot of fun things that we've done, but it's also been opportunities to take care of family, you know, to support them, whether it was financially or with our time. You know, we now have a really awesome little 2-year-old. He's the coolest. His newest thing as of yesterday is putting on sunglasses and saying, "Ah, cool." You know, and I'm like, you are really cool, except that he puts them on upside down. So it's like, you're not actually as cool as you think you are, but you're adorable. So in any case, but you know, honestly, I could not have told you at 24 years old that having the option to stay at home with my son was going to be important to me. I honestly, it wasn't really a value I was raised with, and I could not have told you that about myself. But when he was 6 weeks old, I could not imagine handing him over to somebody else for 40, 50 hours a week. And, you know, unfortunately, that's what the majority of women in America have to do. You know, the average maternity leave is 6 weeks in this country. And so it's just been wonderful to have the opportunity to create the type of life that we want to live. You know, prior to that, I was really just sort of reacting at what life threw my way. So in any case, Mark has some wonderful things to share with you, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it back off to him.
Well done, my love. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's get 2019 kicked off right. Here's how we're going to roll tonight. We're going to talk about some financial education, because you got to understand what we're talking about. I'm an end game kind of guy. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? And ultimately, if we're talking about financial freedom, it's money, it's math, it's numbers. I'm not overly complicated. You just got to make the numbers work. But what do the numbers actually look like? What do the numbers mean? And so let's get into that. And then as we talk about the system that we're operating in, the team that we're running with, you got to understand we're talking about entrepreneurship. So the conversation has to go a little bit differently than a job, right? Like if you're talking about a job, you start with the tiny details first. And it's not like, you know, hey, before I take this job interview, tell me about the company's progression over the next 20 years. You're just like, oh yeah, you know, well, send me a job description, right? What's the job description? Where's it located? You talk details first, and you're not even really concerned about the big stuff because you're talking about having a job. You're talking about being an employee. If we're talking about building something, you got to understand the conversation's different. You got to start big and then go small. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Is that cool? Just so we're on the same page, we'll wrap up about 1 a.m. with about how we grow and all of that. I don't have the attention span for that. Let's be real. Okay, let's talk some numbers. We're going to use this number. We're going to use $50,000 a year, and we're going to call it ongoing income. Some people call it passive income. Some people call it residual income. But ultimately, the goal is to not have to go to a job and have money come in. Is that what most people do for retirement? That's the goal, right? Most people work so that they could at some point retire. And most people understand retirement as money comes in without you having to go somewhere to go get it. Is that about fair? Okay, so if we're talking about having money come in without you having to go get it, that's something called ongoing income. And here's the reason most people, it takes a while for them to get there. Kwame, if we're talking about someone that's retired, do you think about someone that's, do you initially think about someone that's younger or older? Older. You want to know why? Because it takes forever. It takes a long time to be able to get to 50 grand a year of ongoing income, because here's how most people do it. You put money away, and you're smart with your money and investments, 401ks and pensions and Social Security. And hopefully when you have all of that added up, you have enough money to live and sustain yourself. But most people don't do the numbers. If we're talking about creating 50 grand a year of ongoing return, my buddy that I co-authored that book with, he handled $5 billion in assets for JP Morgan. He was in wealth management. So I asked him, David, in the hands of someone that knows what they're doing like yourself, how much money would I need to have in the markets for you to play with to net me 50 grand a year of ongoing income? And he said $1.25 million. Now, I don't know what your savings game is like right now going into this year. My savings game at 21 years old, when I was first getting connected with this team and learning some of these numbers, it would take me, Savaris, it would take me about 1.25 million months to accumulate $1.25 million. Okay, it would take me a long freaking time. And so that just wasn't really an option for me. But if the goal, I'm a how do we win this game kind of person. If you're ever learning like a new sport or a new board game, it's always funny. People are talking about, oh, here's how you play the game. La, la, la. Okay, shh. How do you win the game? And then let's talk about how to play the game. Because if you focus on playing the game and you forget how you win the game, I mean, if you're learning the game of basketball, a smart way to start is like, okay, so here's the basketball. Here's how you dribble the basketball. And then you can learn how to dribble a basketball and you feel really good because you know how to dribble. And then you can learn how to dribble between your legs. And you can go behind the back and you can break people's ankles and have amazing handles. And it's amazing and it's awesome, but you forget that you win the game by putting the ball in the hoop. And you got to do that more than the other team. So you could focus a lot on dribbling the basketball, just like a lot of people focus a lot on having a really nice salary. But the end game isn't about having a nice salary that sounds good, is it? It's about owning your life and having options. And so if the goal is to have money coming in without you having to go somewhere to get it, if you can develop an asset, let's get some on the same page about a couple terms here. Liability means money goes out. Does that make sense? Liability means money goes out. Asset means money comes in. So if you can develop an asset, if you can create a business, develop an asset that creates the same end goal, if you can create 50 grand a year through an asset that you develop, and if this takes 2 to 5 years, and this takes 40 to 50 years, Kwame, would you rather do something and achieve the same result in 40 to 50 years or 2 to 5 years? 2 to 5 years. Thank you very much. So if we're talking about tonight, this is what we're talking about. Is that cool? We're gonna talk about developing an asset, taking a few years. I didn't say a few months, by the way. I didn't say a few weeks. If you're trying to get some quick fix for 2019, you're in the wrong place, friends. I don't know what to tell you. But if you want to take a year, if you want to take a year or two and get a baseline, if you want to create a foundation that could potentially pay off for the rest of your life, we can talk about that because that's what we did. That's what the team has taught us to do, and that's what some great mentorship has opened the door for us to be able to have. Are we cool? Let's use this term and we'll move on. We're going to use the term river income. Bucket income versus river income, okay? We good? We're following this? Dodie, we were chatting a little bit earlier, right? So Dodie, we're going to use this term. If we're talking about, we're going to go old school. Kwame, we're going old school. You live in a hut, okay? Hut, tribes, villages, the whole deal. All right. So you live in a hut and you got to get water every day and you got to go to the lake. The lake is a couple miles over that way. So you know what you do every day, Kwame? You get your buckets and then you go over to the lake and you're all happy. And then you fill up your water. You know, you fill up your buckets with water and you bring it home for your family. What does your family do with the water when you bring it home? They use it. They drink it. They cook. They clean. They wash. Whatever they do. They use it. It's all gone. So it's all gone. So what do you have to do tomorrow? So you go back and get it. You get your little buckets and you're happy about it. Oh, man, I'm taking care of my family. Look at me. Okay, then you fill up the water. You bring it home for your family. What does your family do with it again, Kwame? Use it again. And then guess what you got to do? You got to go back. Does this sound familiar? Okay, this is a paycheck. Please understand, I'm not anti-job. I was very, very happy to have my job when I had it. I am, though, pro-understanding the game. And most people will spend their entire life, not 2019, their whole life trying to get a bigger bucket. And they think that's the whole plan. My whole life is going to change. Man, if I could just make an extra $10,000, maybe if I go get my master's and I go do this, then I can bring home an extra 15, 20 grand. And they chase all of these things, but ultimately it's just a bigger bucket. But you get a bigger bucket, you bring it back home, what's your family still going to do? Use it all? Did you guys have, when you were a little bit younger, did any of you guys have this number in your head where you're just like, man, if I was just making that, bro, oh my God, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get there one day. And then you get there. Does it feel better? You feel like you got it all. You got it all under control. You want to know why? Because it's all bucket income. I love when people have a little side hustle. Side hustle. You have a water bottle strapped to your belt, sir. That's what you got. All right. Because it hasn't changed the game. It's still about you going to get it and bring it home. Here's what these guys taught me, and we're going to move on, okay? Here's a shovel. Is it Savaris or Savarius? Savaris, here's a shovel, okay? We're going to show you how to dig. We're going to show you how to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, year after year, month after month, week after week. But eventually, you have a river coming from the lake to your home. And guess what you never need to do again? You never need to get your little buckets. And you never need, you know what you have? You have river income. River income versus bucket income. Are we all on the same page? Tonight we're talking about creating a river, taking a couple years, digging yourself a river so eventually you can get on with the program. All right. I'm trying to fit 3 lifetimes in one. You know what I'm saying? And I can't fit 3 lifetimes in one if I spend my entire life going to work and getting a paycheck and doing the bucket thing. I just want to get on with the program, and that's what we're all about. Is that cool? We good? Okay, let's get a little bit more into the world that we're living in. I want you to write this down. Partnership is everything. Okay? Everything's about partnership. This is going to make sense in a second, all right? But we're going to use food trucks as an example because I like food mainly. But let's just talk about, remember, we got to talk big picture, and then we're going to go small. So it was Kwame. What's your name, my man over here with the glasses? Andy. I had Kwame and I had Savaris, and I forgot Andy. Add a couple syllables or something, bro. Let's. Andy, okay. Andy, how's your math game? Is it pretty decent? He's like, no. Okay. Well, just hang with me. I think maybe it'll get a little bit better. So let's say you have a food truck, okay? Do you have more opportunity to make more money with 1 food truck or 7 food trucks? 7. Yeah, there you go. Give Andy some love, man. That's some good math right there. Look at you. It's 2019. New year, new you, bro. Come into the newness. Okay. But here's what you got to understand. Before you have 7 food trucks, you probably should have 1 that works, huh? Because what good is expanding something that's broken? What's good at expanding something that doesn't work? And so first and foremost, you got to have something that works. That first food truck, what works, what doesn't, you streamline it, you make it productive, all of those things. And then you start thinking about growth and expansion. So then if you start thinking about growth and expansion, here's what we got to understand. It's all about partnership. Because, Andy, can you be 7 places at one time? Nope. Doesn't matter how good you are, how strong your math game is. You cannot be 7 places at one time. So you know what you're going to have to do? What's that P word I just had you write down? you're going to have to partner with some people. And I said partner, not hire employees, because hiring employees, you understand, like, you're just going to end up chasing people around all over the city. As an employee at your current job, do you wake up at night thinking about, like, your boss? Just stressed out about the company fine? Boss. You just wake up in cold sweats thinking about your boss. Anyone? No? Okay, so if you hire employees to run your other food truck, do you think they're going to wake up in sweats thinking about you? If you want to partner, if you want to grow and expand, you got to run with some people that can play at the same level that you play at. If you were having a second food truck, Kwame, if you were running this food truck and you're like, man, this is cooking, I'm making some money, it's amazing, who would you trust to run that second food truck? Who do you know that would do it at the same level, just that drive and that ambition? And who's that person in your life? Yeah, what's their name? Who's that first person you're thinking of? Yeah. Was it? Jeannie? Awesome. So Jeannie, here's what I know about Jeannie. Jeannie's probably a little bit more entrepreneur than employee. Now, maybe Jeannie has a job, okay? But in here, there's just this like, let's go do something. I'm guessing you don't need to like worry about Jeannie. Hey, do you remember where the truck is today? Do you know where the keys are? Do you want to wake up? Do you want to shower? You know, like you don't have to babysit Jeannie. There's some people you just know like they're just going to go get it, right? Savaris, who's the most ambitious, driven? Like if you were expanding something, you're expanding a food truck, who would you trust to like run it at the same level? You know they would do an awesome job. Marlon, awesome. You know what I know about Marlon? Do you want to hide your knowledge from Marlon or you want to share your knowledge with your boys? And with your partners, you understand the faster you can all win, the faster it is, the better it is for everyone. So you want to share your knowledge with your partner. So when Marlon's there, you want to help him understand everything that you've not done and everything that you've learned. And so you want to share your knowledge, not hide your knowledge with your partners. Andy, who do you know that's ambitious and driven? And if you were expanding something, you would do it with them because you know they would do it well. Your friend Omar, awesome. Here's what I know about Omar. Do you want Omar to make a little bit of money or a lot of money? A lot of money. Why? Because if your partners aren't making money, they're going to go do something else. So help them make a lot of money. And see, here's what you guys got to understand. All of that stuff about partnership. Please understand this and write this down. Partnership is not about what, it is about who. Because your boy Marlon, I'm guessing you're not excited about him doing that just because he's like a food truck expert. And I'm guessing your buddy wasn't the first person, Jeannie wasn't the first person you had. It's more about who she is. It's not just about what she's done. Do you understand why the person that invited you out tonight, before they invited you tonight, you probably had a conversation or two about who you are and where you're going and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, because you understand the what is not important. And if you think it is, it's probably because you haven't started something for yourself. Because when you're building something, it is all about the who and very little about the what. Is that cool? We good? We're going to come back to these food trucks and partnership in a little bit. But I want you to understand this, okay? Write this down. The system is the secret. We're going to get into some nuts and bolts and details about the system that we operate in and work within. The support side, supply side, this support and supply business model, this is how all franchises work. And so we model off of that because franchises are proven, they're predictable. I'll just give you this quick understanding of how powerful a system is, okay? Who's a decent cook? Who can make some good food? Yeah? Who can make a good burger? Let's do a good burger. Who can make a better burger than McDonald's? Raise your hand. That's even more hands. People that didn't even have their hand raised before. They're like, I can't make anything, but I guarantee you I can make a better burger than McDonald's. But let me ask you this. If you can make a better burger than McDonald's, where's your $1 billion? Where is it? Because is it really about the burger or is it about the system? It's about the system. Thank you very much. So understand, when we talk about the system is the secret, that's what we're talking about. And so when you're in business for yourself, you have access to a support side, you have access to a supply side. Let's start with the support side because that is by far the most important part. I'll explain this in a second. The support side we partner with is a team called LTD, Leadership Team Development. Now that's the support system that we operate with, but I want you to understand why the support side is by far more important than the supply side. Let's use this as an example, okay? This is the NFL. All of these teams play football and some of them win championships. And some of them are the Bears, okay? Now, I know we're doing all right, but like we haven't brought home a championship in 3 decades. These guys bring home championships like every other stinking year. What's the difference? They're all playing the same game. Leadership, players, personnel, coaching, strategy, philosophy. It's all about how you execute the game. It's not just what game you're playing. Make sense? If we're talking about food, you understand Taco Bell and Chipotle, they do the same thing. They sell fake Mexican food. But how do you sell the fake Mexican food? That's what's important. Taco Bell, they're like open till 1, 2 a.m., cheaper menu prices. That's what they're all about. Chipotle, it's all about high quality ingredients. You got to take out a second mortgage to get guac. Just put it on there. I know. Stop highlighting my bad choices. Uncle Julio's, you sit down. These guys want to serve you Mexican food served on a plate by a donkey with a dirty apron and a crown. There's at least 2 things wrong with that. And so all of these things, like they're all playing the same game, but they're doing it a different way. If you're talking about fashion, you get a little black dress. You can get a little black dress on a sale rack somewhere for $5 or get a designer cocktail dress for $500. It's the same concept. It's executed differently. Here's what you got to understand. If we're talking about partnership, if we're talking about building something, do you understand if you want to be in business for yourself and you want to have you want to go into designer fashion, and the person you're partnered with, you want to go high-level fashion, and they want to get some random fabric from some random country that gives everyone rashes. Is it really about being in fashion, or is the problem the person that you're running with? If you want to have a nice sit-down restaurant, you want to do a nice sit-down place, and your partner wants to do the donkey with the dirty apron thing. Are you guys compatible? Probably not. You're in the same industry, though. You're doing the same thing. You want to win championships. And the people you're running with, they just want to hold hands and sing Kumbaya and be best friends when we're done. Don't touch my hand. Let's win some ball games. What are we doing? Is this making sense? It's not about what you're doing. It's about who you're doing it with. And I'm going to beat this into the ground. Because most people that haven't started, I've started like 5 businesses. I promise you, it is everything. Everything is about the people you are doing it with. If you're trying to have a business of your own, okay? If you're trying to build something long-term for the future, you're trying to build something sustainable for your family. Do you understand? If you're partnered with someone that wants to just make a quick buck, they don't care about like people, they don't care about stuff. They just want to turn a quick buck and make a quick profit. And you want to build something long-term you understand you're going to have problems. And that's what I love so much about this LTD team. They've created a support system. They've created tools and backing and MP3s and audios and apps and trainings and big trainings, little trainings, online trainings, gigantic conferences. But everything they do is to support people building something long-term for the future. Like long-term river income, not just let's make a quick buck. Let's, just do some random things, fill some time, make some cash. That's not what they're about. And so it's important to understand that these are the people that you're learning from and getting mentored by and a system you have access to, because if you're trying to make a quick buck, this probably isn't the room for you. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you're not interested in like putting work into something to build something for the future, have a great 2019, friends. It's probably not going to be a great 2019, just FYI, because everything kind of requires work. But partnering with people that believe the same way is really huge. And my favorite part is that there's real people. These are real people. This isn't like Adobe stock footage. This is DK and Robin. DK and Robin, he's the VP of financial reporting for a multi-million-dollar textile company. She was getting her PhD in psychology when she saw this opportunity, and they were just early in their career. What do people like us do to make extra money? I don't know. Do we day trade? Do we dabble in real estate? What do we do? I don't know. So they saw this opportunity. Well, we can get network with some great people. We can learn some great stuff. Let's give it a shot. Their river income got to $4,000 or $5,000 a month. That was more than what Robin was taking home from her job. She bought her time back. She bought her freedom back. She did some cool stuff in like fashion, launched her own jewelry brand, and has run a pretty awesome business. Their river income actually just this last fall went from about $4,000 or $5,000 a month to $7,000 or $8,000 a month. Is that a decent raise, by the way? Guess who gave them that raise? A boss? Nope, them. They give themselves a raise. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to give yourself a raise? I know you're at 2019. I don't know how many people are looking at a raise at their job, but most raises, is it typically about $3,000 to $4,000 a month? Anyone getting a $45,000 raise at their job? Okay, see what I'm saying? But they're in business for themselves. They can do those types of things. This is Derek and Joe Kosick. They're in the room. They're here. These are real people. They both D1 athletes over at UIC, full ride scholarship athletes. He was a soccer stud. She was a volleyball chick. She wasn't like the 6'1" like volleyball. She was like the shorter volleyball chick that's like yelling at everyone, and it's like intense. But these two, they had all this drive and all this discipline they built up playing sports. And then they got out of school and they're like, okay, awesome. Now we're going to take all of this and we're going to work for 50 years for someone else. Like, that's silly. So we just showed them how to take all of that, put it into a business of their own, build an asset for the future. They were the best students we ever had in this thing. Their river income in 3.5 years, $100,000. He walked away from his job when he was 26 years old. Retired at 26. This couple's great. That guy's having a rough hair day. Just ignore. It's Florida. I'm not making excuses for him, but it is what it is. Okay, this couple, Larry and Pam, they're just one of these great American success stories. These are the people we get mentored by. He was a $6 an hour car wash manager. She was the cashier at the car wash. Their whole goal in life was at some point to make $100,000 a year. Not a bad goal. If you're high school educated, you work at a car wash. But you know what changed? And please understand this. This is one of the morals of tonight, okay? Here's what changed for them. A good vehicle and great mentorship. Because he was the same dude, but now he had a good vehicle and great mentorship. You know what happened? He started making $100,000 a year. Then his next goal, Kwame, was $100,000 a month. He got there. Andy, his next goal was $100,000 a week. He got there. Savaris, his next goal is $100,000 a day. He's not quite there yet. Okay, but $100,000 a week is $5 million a year. River income, friends. River income. It keeps coming in. Now, here's what you got to understand about mentorship. If you had this guy's cell phone number in your phone and you could talk to him a couple times a week, a couple times a month, do you think your financial game changes a little bit? Do you think it's going to be a better 2019? Yeah, and everyone's shaking their head. And you have no idea what he does. None. Because just like partnership, mentorship is a who game too. Mentorship is about how you think. It's not about what you do. I wanted to be the guy. You understand if Jeff Bezos lost everything, do you understand he'd have it back pretty quick? Okay? See, I wanted to be that guy for my family. I didn't want to be the guy that like, oh man, he lost his job. What's he going to do? Oh man, this guy, he got laid off. Oh man, poor them. I want to be the guy like if something ever happened to me, they'll be like, wait, Mark lost his job? They'll be fine. Oh man, Mark lost everything. He'll have it back in 12 months. But you understand that's about how you think. It's not about what you do. And how you think is about who you know. It's not about what you're doing. So just like partnership, mentorship is about who. And that's why we take the time to explain this to you. Because if we're doing stuff that sounds cute, but this isn't behind it, it's all smoke and mirrors, friends. It's all cute, here today, gone tomorrow, get connected to some cute thing that's making a lot of money right now for everyone. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in long-term wealth for my family. And that's about how you think. We good? We cool? Perfect. That's the support side. Mentorship, support, a system. The supply side. This is where the numbers live. Products, details, percentages. So we're going to get into this. Some of you engineers that have been waiting for like details and numbers and charts. I got you. Put the vein back in your forehead. I got you. You don't want to start 2019 like that. All right. We're partnering with a gigantic supplier called Amway Global. They're massive. They're huge. They're gigantic. In case you've seen that name, it's because you have eyes and you're alive. Okay. That's the Amway Center. Like we've got the United Center. That's the Amway Center. That's in Orlando. That's where the Orlando Magic lose to every team in the NBA. There's the Amway Center inside of Citi Field. That's where the New York Mets play. There's Amway on championship football trophies and soccer jerseys. They've been around for like 60 years, $9 billion in revenue, 35th largest privately held company in the country, A+ Better Business Bureau rating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're big and gigantic and huge. But here's what they do. Okay? Here's what they do. They've created a platform for people like Mark or Kwame or Alexia or whoever, right? To have a business of our own online. Now, I'm going to explain this to you. Let's go through a quick little, I'm going to give you a 60-second e-commerce example. Let's say, Savaris, you own a men's clothing store, okay? So you own a men's clothing store, you have a retail outlet, and then you have a website. And so someone wants to come in, buy a decent pair of shoes from you, a nice pair of dress shoes, let's call it $200. So if someone comes in and buys a $200 pair of dress shoes from you, do you make $200? Do you keep all of that cash? Or do you have costs that you have to pay for? There's costs, absolutely. So they come in and they pay $200, whether it's online or in the store. So you have to subtract out your costs. That eats into your profit. The shoes are going to cost money. That doesn't change no matter where you buy it from. But do you understand if you buy it in a store, there's about 20 million other things you got to pay for. You got to pay for the actual store, the lease. You got to pay for the build out. You got to pay for all the inventory. You got to pay for all the employees. You got to pay for all the inventory that the employees are stealing out of the back. And then you have to pay for all of these things and insurance. And whatever's left over is your profit. Or you can sell the exact same thing online, have one warehouse that ships to the entire country, and you don't have to deal with any of that noise. Has anyone been on like Facebook or Instagram and you're scrolling through and you see like, wow, that's a decent pair of shoes. That's a nice sweater. I've never even heard of that brand. I have no idea what that is. Do you want to know why? Because they don't sell in stores, because they do it exclusively online, because then they keep more money and they can become bigger. That's how they do it. Making sense? This is every company on the planet wants more of their business happening online. So Amway just figures, okay, everyone wants more stuff happening online. Let's just create a big portal, like a big platform. These guys can have more business online, almost create like a big virtual mall. Let's create partnerships with a bunch of different retail brands, a bunch of different exclusive brands. Let's leverage our size and credibility, create partnerships with guys like Disney and Best Buy. We'll talk about more about them in a second. But let's leverage our size and our giganticism, not a word, but our giganticism to be able to create a platform and give people opportunity where they can build a business of their own. They help bring the business to the table. These guys make all this extra profit because it's all happening online. And then they cut us in on a percentage of the extra revenue. That's it. That's all we do. Do you know what's awesome though, Kwame? If you want to give yourself a raise, if you want to create a bigger pipeline of business, do you know what you can do? You can work a little bit harder, create a bigger pipeline, and now you get a bigger percentage. This right here is magical. Because do you understand? You can look yourself in the mirror. It's the beginning of 2019. You can look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, self, you're pretty awesome. I like you a lot. So here's what we should do. We should make an extra $20,000 this year. What do you say? And then you have a weird conversation with yourself in the mirror. But when it's all said and done, you can go do something about it. You can go give yourself a $20,000 year raise. If you go into your boss's office right now and say, boss, so you've probably realized I'm amazing, right? Okay, so here's what we should do about that. I was thinking about this like all last year. And now that we're in 2019, here's what I think. I think I should make approximately an extra, I don't know, like $20,000 this year. What do you think your boss would say if you walked in and said, I should make an extra 20 grand this year? Get out. I think someone swore over here. I'm not really sure. But that's what would happen. That'd be blank looks. You're just not, listen, you're not in control of when you can move on in life. When you've got a job, you're just not in control. I'm not anti-job. Again, I'm just pro-understanding the game. If I want to take care of my family, I take care of my family with the money I make, right? So if I can't make more money until someone else says I can, that means I can't take care of my family until someone else says I can. I can't take care of my family better. I can't give more things to my kid until my boss says it's okay. And when I thought about it that way, it made me want to destroy everything. Flip tables, kick small dogs, like everything, okay? Because I just not being able to have control. If you're in business for yourself, you can work harder, create a bigger pipeline, create a bigger percentage, take care of your family better. Making sense? We good? Let's start talking details, nuts and bolts, specifics, okay? So let's fast forward a little bit. So right now, you're probably halfway through a conversation that you're having with the person that invited you out. Tonight is not like the big deal, okay? Tonight is just connecting some dots. You still need to make sure you connect back with the person that invited you out, and they're going to talk through like expectations and what does it take to be part of this team? What does it take to actually make this thing happen? Because I am a big fan of people. If you're going to start something, like know what you're doing. So I'm not a big fan of people getting launched in something they don't fully understand, okay? So the person that you're running with and talking to, You need to get back with them and have a conversation, kind of bring it into close. But let's fast forward to the end of this conversation. Let's say you get an offer into partnership to work with this team. So let's take it from there. So now you're part of the team. Congratulations. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you how to utilize this platform. By the way, Amway is just a platform. Anyone can utilize Amway. We don't take people through a little bit of a process because that's an Amway thing. That's we're not trying to see if people can play basketball. We're trying to see if people can like play Duke basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not trying to see if you know how to hold the football. Like, can you play Alabama football? Like, that's what we're trying to figure out. Does that make sense? But the Amway is just a platform. It's great. It's awesome. But let's fast forward to the end of that conversation. You become something called an IBO. Write that down. That's important. IBO stands for Independent Business Owner. So when you become an IBO, you get access to everything that Amway's already created. A big $9 billion platform is now at your disposal to build a business of your own. Congratulations. You have access to all of their infrastructure, all the things they've created, virtual office and back end and customer service and shipping and logistics and accounting, and you get access to all of these things. So you don't have to do any of that. You can just bring business to the table and participate in the profit. Make sense? So they take care of all the back end stuff. Now, here's what I want you to understand. As you see some of these partnerships that they've created, I want you to think to yourself, do I know any of these people? Do I know any of these people? Have I ever utilized any of these types of stores? Have I ever bought the types of things I can get from these places? And if the answer is yes, then the next question is, how much money did you make when you shop there? Right now, I make. What are you talking about? I don't make money when I shop. Do you understand? Because you're in business for yourself. All these guys care about is the business happening online. They don't care if it's customers of ours or if it's our own stuff. They don't care. They just are happy it's happening online. So every time I buy something from one of our partnerships, you know what happens? I make money. I get a little tiny percentage of that profit. Now, is it free product? No. You buy $100 worth of stuff from Office Depot. Here's $10,000 back. Mathematically, that's insane, okay? But do you understand every dollar you spend, 5 to 7 people make money off of every dollar you spend in this world. Are you one of the 5 to 7? Every dollar you spend, are you involved in that? Because someone is. And if I could partner with some of these stores and they cut me in on a percentage, rock and roll. I bought a new printer recently from Best Buy. Want to know why? Because my 2-year-old likes pushing buttons, okay? And he makes copies 200 at a time. So eventually, I need new paper, which I get from Office Depot, and I get a little tiny percentage. And then I need new ink, which I get through my partnership with Office Depot. I get a little tiny percentage. And then eventually, that's not sustainable. So then you need a new printer. And then you get that from Best Buy, and you make a tiny little percentage. But this has been happening for how helpful would this have been during Christmas? Yeah. You know, Christmas is a black hole of like, you know, $1,000, $2,000 every year. You understand it can turn into profit? That's craziness. But all of these different brands, all these different partnerships are amazing. Some of the exclusive brands, and I don't have time to get into every partnership and every detail, every exclusive brand. I'm just going to tee this up so you can continue the conversation with the people you're running with. But these exclusive brands focus a lot on consumable kind of stuff. Because if we're talking about consumable things, people buy, we're talking about like big screen TVs, okay? People buy a big screen TV once every 5 years. People eat 5 times a day. So if you're going to make money, would you rather be involved in making money in the big screen TV thing or in things that people are doing 5 times a day? For me personally, I'd rather go with consumable kind of stuff. And so all of these exclusive brands focus on like consumable, household, eating, drinking, snacks, health and wellness, skincare, beauty. Like Artistry, it's one of the top 5 prestige beauty brands in the world. Some of you gals have never even heard of it. But you know, like Estee Lauder, Lancome, Clinique, like that level of stuff. Okay, Artistry is top 5 with them. But it's the only one you can't get in the department store because they just don't have like ladies in the department store trying to get you to sit down and try stuff on and whatnot because they're exclusively online. Nutrilite is the #1 health and wellness brand in the entire world, and you've never heard of them. They do everything. Everything they do is plant-based and organic, and you know, sports nutrition and you know, general health and kids' health and all of that weight loss stuff. And so all of these exclusive brands are really cool. They're everyday kind of stuff. And then you start realizing opportunity and seeing things everywhere. I mean, this stuff is happening all the time. Everywhere you go to the gym and people are using vitamin water kind of stuff and sports drinks and energy drinks, pre-workout, post-workout, protein, joint health, multivitamins, meal replacement things. You look around and wow, hair stuff and face stuff and shaving stuff and lip gloss and mascara, and then you go home and look at laundry detergent and fabric softener and toothbrush and toothpaste and shampoo and conditioner and soap, all this stuff you're going to be doing your whole life. I want you to write this number down, and we're going to connect some dots and we'll call it a night. This is called the liability of being alive. These are important numbers. The liability of being alive looks like this. Savaris, let's say as a consumer, how much money a month would you say you spend on stuff? Food, clothes, toiletries, eating out, random cups of coffee. If you think about it, especially when you're a young adult, I don't know, it's at least a few $100, right? Is that about right? Fast forward, I don't know, you're married. Doesn't double, by the way, like triples, just FYI. Some people get surprised by the math on that. You're still shaking your head. You're still shaking your head. Long nods over there from Savaris. He's like, I was done talking about that 30 seconds ago. He's still nodding. No, but it's true. And then you got kids. Anyone got kids? Does it get less expensive or more expensive? More expensive. Then you got that diaper money. Man, you better be making some cash. And especially some people get twins. I'm like, man, you have to have some cash flow, my friends. But you understand, your amount that you spend as a consumer just continues to rise over your life. So let's just take a nice round number. If you average it out over your lifetime, let's call it $1,000 a month. It's probably more than that, but let's call it $1,000 a month. You spend as a consumer on average over your lifetime. Okay. So let's call it $1,000. 1,000 times 12, Kwame, that's $12,000 a year. 12 grand a year you spend as a consumer. You got another 50 years in you, Savaris? Another 50 years? That's the goal? Okay. Long, dramatic pause. I think you got it. I think you got it, bro. We're in it together. Okay. So 12,000 times 50, how much is that? That is $600,000 that you will spend to stay alive. You're going to spend that. So let me ask you this question, Savaris. If you had 600 grand sitting cash in an account somewhere, would you want it sitting somewhere where you got no return, or would you want it somewhere where you got at least a little bit of a return? You want a return. So if you're going to spend 600 grand anyway over your lifetime, would you rather spend it at places where you get zero return, or spend it at places where you would get some return? And for me, some return wins, okay? And that's the core of what we're talking about. Listen, when you're in business for yourself and you're partnering up with this team, you understand, here's what we're going to show you how to do. And write this down. We're going to show you how to take the liability of being alive and turn it into an asset. Liability means money goes out. Asset means money comes in, right? We're going to show you how to take the liability of being alive, money goes out, and we're going to show you how to turn that into a return so you get some sort of return on it. Make sense? Here's how the numbers roll, okay? Congratulations, you're in business for yourself. You get partnered with this team, you become an IBO. Okay. By the way, just so you don't think I'm building to some sort of ridiculous price tag, all this for only $9,999. It costs $200. $200 gets you your IBO number. That gets you access to the whole platform, all the different partnerships, access to the mentorship. You get all of, and they even back it up with a full 90-day money-back guarantee. If it's not the opportunity you thought it was, they'll just give you $200 back. Okay. It's a $9 billion company. They're not after my $200. $200 for anyone that's actually started something before, by the way. Is that kind of insane? It's nuts. Even that film festival I started when I was 21 years old, it cost me $3 grand to get that off the ground. It's $200. Unbelievable. Wait, okay. So you're in business for yourself, you're an IBO. Here's step one, okay? Step one, you're in business for yourself. We're going to show you how to do this, okay? We're going to show you how to take the liability of being alive, turn it into an asset. We're going to show you how to have products going through your business. Write this down. Products are purchased, money is made, okay? We're connecting all the dots. You wanted details, you wanted specifics, you wanted numbers. We're coming fast and furious, my friends. Write this down, keep up. Products are purchased, money is made. Does that sound like every business on the planet? Yeah. Including yours now. Congratulations. You're in business for yourself. So we're going to show you how to have product going through your business. Let's use the number $450 worth of stuff going through your business. I know we just talked about 1,000. Let's just keep it small. $450 equates to 150 points PV, point value. So they equate everything to points based on how profitable it is for us, every different, all the different partnerships. Things are different profit levels for us, okay? So if we're talking exclusive brands, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. So here's step one. You're in business for yourself. You ready? Take the liability of being alive and turn it into an asset. Transition your buying habits. Stop throwing your money away. Stop it. Just stop. New habits. New year, new you, bro. Every time you spend money at Walmart, who makes money? You or the Walton family? Every time you shop at Mariano's, are you funding your vacations or the Mariano family vacations? The Mariano family. Do you know whose family vacations I want to fund? This guy. I would like to fund this guy's vacations. But if you're going to spend your money at every other person's business instead of yours, why? Stop. So turn the liability of being alive into an asset, transition your buying habits. As you learn more about the stuff you have your hands on and access to, creating customers is kind of a joke. It's kind of pretty simple. I mean, you guys have been doing this your whole life. How many people have ever seen a good movie? You tell some people about it. Fantastic. Did they ever show up and then cut you in on a percentage of that? I mean, anyone seen the new Mary Poppins? Who saw some Mary Poppins? Anyone? Like 3 people, okay? 3 people. Did Mary Poppins show up at your door? Someone with a little cute little Cockney accent. Hello, Governor! I'm going to write you a check. No? No one? Anyone? Okay. That didn't happen. Didn't happen. Anyone ever have someone come in from out of town? They come into Chicago. What do they want to eat? Pizza. And where do you send them? Giordano's. Stop with that beggars nonsense. Someone said beggars over there. Stop that immediately. Giordano's, Gino's East, Lou Malnati, whatever it is, okay? Has Giordano's ever sent you a free pizza for all the business you've ever sent there? How about a free slice? Nothing? But you've been sending business. Listen, you've been doing this your whole life. These guys just keep track of it so that they can actually cut you in on a percentage. That's all they do. So turn the liability of being alive into an asset, develop a couple customers. Here's what just happened. You know your business is repeatable purchases. Your first 30 days in the business, that's $100 to $400. Mark, I thought you said you didn't care about a couple $100. And I thought you said you were listening. This is not a couple $100. This is a couple $100 of river income. River income. So let's call it $200. What's 200 times 12? That's $2,400, friends. You understand? You just gave yourself a $2,400 a year raise. From turning the liability of being alive into an asset and developing a couple customers. That's what just happened. That right there, that's a tiny little pipeline. That's a little bit of a seed. But the goal is to have a big pipeline because more products going through your business means more of a percentage. So the goal of any business, you want to have a lot of stuff going through your business. I'm going to give you a tip, okay? Because we're talking about freedom. I'm just going to give you a tip from someone that's been financially free for the last 10 years. If you want to be financially free, I'm not even talking about this business. I'm talking about just in general. Financial freedom comes from this. You ready? You have to, write this down, build something bigger than yourself. If it's not bigger than you, you can never walk away from it. That's why people you can't get free at a job. You just can't because it's not bigger than you. Your income is tied to your physical production. That's why you can't get free. So if you want to get free, you have to build something bigger than you. Well, if you got to have a lot of stuff going through your business, and how do I create a big pipeline of business without it being 100% on me? And now we're back to our food trucks. Because Andy, can you cover more ground with 1 or 7? 7. But if you're going to cover more ground and you're going to partner with more people, is it really about what or is it about who? It's about who. So now we're talking about your friend Jeannie, and you're talking about your friend Marlon, and what was your friend's name again? Omar. Just like you were going to show them the ropes, and you would trust them, and you know they want to run at that same level. Guess what? Just like you were going to show them the ropes with having a good food truck, here's something that works, here's something that's productive, here's something that can be profitable. Fantastic. You know what you can do? You can show them the ropes. Here's something that works, and here's something that's smart, and here's something that's profitable. And you can show them how to be in business for themselves, take the liability of being alive, turn it into an asset, develop a couple customers. You know what's happening? Now they're taking care of their family. They got a nice little pipeline. They're giving themselves a nice little bit of a raise. But overall, do you know what's happening? There's more stuff happening through your business because it's not all on you. You're now partnering. Has anyone eaten at Panera Bread? Who's eaten at Panera at some point in your life? Do you think everyone just raised their hand because there's one big Panera or lots of little Paneras? You want to try and do it all on your own, champ? God bless you. I'm sure that's great for your ego. I'm trying to make stuff happen. And you can cover more ground when you partner with great people. And if you want to try and do it all on your own, can you do that? Yeah, absolutely. You can do that and you can make a lot of money. The problem is it's just a really nice bucket. It's your bucket. It's great. It's not your boss's bucket. It's your bucket. You can bedazzle it if you want, make it nice and pretty. That's cool. But it's never going to be bigger than you. But when you partner with people, it gets bigger than you. You create a bigger pipeline. You have more stuff going through your business. That's $300 to $700. Let's call it $500. 500 times 12, though. 500 times 12. River income. That's $6,000 a year. You just gave yourself a $6,000 a year pay raise from that. You don't have to wait for a specific type of year. You don't have to pray for a review. You don't have to hope your boss noticed the nice things that you did at work, which, by the way, they never do. You just gave it to yourself. Let's take it one more step, okay? Here's what these guys can do. You know what Jeannie can do? She can partner with some more people too. Now understand this, okay? She can partner with 4, she can partner with 14, and she'll get paid accordingly. This isn't some goofy little pyramid thing where some guy at the top is making all the money in that thing. Yeah, I don't know where you work, but let me guess. Hold on. I place a lot of people in a lot of jobs in a lot of different companies. I don't know yours specifically, but hold on. I'm going to venture a guess. Who makes more money, you or your boss? And who makes more money, them or their boss? And who makes more money, them or the CEO? Okay, so that's how it works in the corporate world because you get paid based on where you fall into some sort of corporate structure. Here you get paid based on what you bring to the table. So if she wants to partner with 4, she wants to create a big pipeline, she can partner with 14 and she'll get paid accordingly. If she wants to work harder than you, Kwame, she can smoke your income. Savaris, who invited you up? Leslie, if you want to work harder than Leslie, you can smoke Leslie's income. Dodie, if you want to work harder than Michelle, you can smoke Michelle's income. I'm helping show Michelle the ropes. If you want to make more money than me, I'll show you how. Now, I got like a step on her. But isn't it kind of cool? Isn't it cool that you can? On what planet can you catch your CEO? Not anti-job. I'm just pro understanding the game, friends. Pro understanding the game. But let's take this example. Let's say Jeannie partners up with 4. Guess what? She can show them how to do the same thing that she did. Take the liability of being alive, turn it into an asset, create a couple customers. Guess what happened? If those 6 partnered with 4, you add up all those little pipelines, that's $1,700. That's a $20,000 a year pay raise. You remember that weird conversation you were having with yourself in the mirror? You can do that. I don't know how many promotions 20 grand is away for you at your job, okay? Is that a promotion? Is that you going back and getting another degree? Is that 1 promotion? Is that 2 promotions? How many people need to leave your company? How many people need to die? Okay? Now, I'm not advocating that, Kwame. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying. But for real, like, what is the likelihood? An extra 20, you understand you did this? You gave that to yourself from this. Let's take it one more step. Let's say this guy partners with 2. Here, as you're putting together a team, here's what I'm going to recommend. Put together a team of people who are awesome. Life is way too short to partner with people who aren't amazing. Surround yourself, 2019, for real, surround yourself with people that want to play here, okay? Surround yourself with people that want to play here. So if you get a chance to build a team, you're like GMing your own team around here. Come correct, like build an awesome team. But let's take this last little example. Those 4 partner with 2. You add up all those little pipelines of business. You top out that bonus chart. That point's called platinum. Platinum's about $3,600 a month. Add in a year-end bonus. That's $50,000 a year. That's 50 grand a year. Let's zoom out real quick, just so you understand what this looks like. Okay? They dimmed the lights. It's getting real dramatic around here. Where did the lights go? For real? I'm waiting for someone to figure that out. Okay, that's 50 grand a year. Where are my travel people? Who likes traveling? Yeah, where you want to go? What's high on the list? France. Who over here? Who over here? Who likes traveling? What's high on the list? Dubai. While you're in France, while you're in Dubai, guess what's happening back home? Here, understand this. You ready? Something bigger than you. That's the answer. Something bigger than you. While you're we were in Australia last summer, okay? We were gone for 3 weeks. When we came back, our bank account was bigger than when we left. Is that because we're special? No, we just make money. How we make money doesn't depend on where we sit. That's it. So anyone ever go on vacation and like you have a budget and then you go out to dinner that first night and you're like, whoa, that is not sustainable, my friends. We got to reel it back. We got to reel it back. But you understand, like you can go on vacation and your bank account's bigger when you get home. If you're in the studio making music, if you're creative, guess what? You can be in the studio. Guess what's happening outside of the studio? Something bigger than you. You're on film, you're on location filming something. Guess what's happening off location? Something bigger than you. You're at home chasing around your 2-year-old being their office assistant. Guess what's happening outside of the house? Something bigger than you. You're holding up your dad because he can't walk anymore. Guess what's happening outside? See, financial freedom is cute and it's nice and it's wonderful. But at some point, please understand this, and I know you wrote a lot of things down, write this down too. At some point, your family's going to need either your time or they're going to need your money. They'll probably need both. A couple of years ago, my dad got sick. I'm not looking for, hero award or anything, because a lot of people do the exact same thing. A lot of people have. When my dad got sick, you know what we did? We just moved. We picked up and we moved to be closer to him. Why? Because we didn't need to be somewhere for a job. Like you can just go do the things that are important to you because they're important. And financial freedom gives you those kinds of things. But you build that stuff before it happens. And of course, everyone wishes they were more prepared. Of course we do too. But it's just nice when stuff like that happens. There's one less thing. You don't need to worry about the money. You don't need to worry about the time. You don't need to worry about the stress. You don't need to worry about PTOs. You don't need to worry about what your boss is saying. You can just go be you. It's amazing how much money gets in the way of us being us, It's crazy. But this right here, this is platinum. That's 50 grand a year of passive income. That's a $1.25 million asset you just built for yourself. And you did that in a couple years. I got partnered with this team when I was 21. I did this platinum thing when I was 22, just turning 23. It took me 18 months. So we built a $1.25 million asset when I was 21 years old. You ready? Good vehicle, great mentorship. Because my first year coming out of college, I made $13,000 total. I was a grown man, college educated, 13 grand my first year coming out of college. That was the same kid that started that film festival. That was the same kid that paid his way through school as an actor. You know what I didn't have? A good vehicle and great mentorship. And that same kid built a $1.25 million asset in 18 months. Good vehicle, great mentorship. If you've done this platinum thing, here's what I'm going to recommend. Help some people. That's it. You've gone platinum. Teach some people how to do it. Have your boys back. Teach Jeannie how to do it. Teach Marlon how to do it. You've gone platinum. Help some people. Do you understand 50 grand a year passive income? That changes like families. That changes generations, man. That changes everything. So you help 3 people change their whole family's like legacy. That's a point called Emerald. Most Emeralds we work with 125, 150 grand a year. Me and my wife did this Emerald thing 9 years ago. The 3 people we taught platinum to is my wife's best friend from 7th grade. I met a guy in a park one day reading an acting book, and then I met a guy in an elevator. We exchanged numbers to play football. And that guy introduced me to his friend, his roommate, and that guy was that Derek Kosek guy that retired at 26 years old from a guy I met in an elevator. You teach 3 people how to do that. That's a point called Emerald. It's a 6-figure plus passive income. You teach 6 people how to do that. That's a point called Diamond. Most diamonds we work with make 250 plus. Me and my wife will be at this Diamond level as of September. I don't know exactly, but our mentors were kind of helping us understand that our income will probably be somewhere in the neighborhood north of about $500,000. Here's the only reason I say that. You ready? I made 13 grand my first year coming out of college. And I'm the same dude. It was the same dude. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot for sure. Good vehicle, great mentorship. 1,000,000%. That's it. You teach 6 people how to change their family's life. That's it. Here's how we end things, okay? I'm done. That's like every word I know in the English language. The person that invited you out, they got access to some apps and some cool stuff that you can poke around and learn some things. That's all great. You know, they'll get you access to it. It's nice, all right? A little bit nicer than that, they'll get you some audio, some podcasts. Listen to them. They're real people on there. Not, you know, they're not paid motivational speakers. They're just real people. Like, here's what we saw. Here's what we hoped for. Here's what we wish we would have done differently. Here's what we learned. Here's what helped us get successful. Basic stuff like that, okay? But most importantly, you need to make sure that you get back with the person that invited you out and let them know, like, hey, here's what's making sense. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I want 2019 to look like. And they're going to be very real. Please understand this. They're going to be very real and very transparent with you about what this is going to take. They're going to be very real and very transparent. Here's what it takes. Here's what's going to be expected. Here's what you need to expect from yourself if this is really going to work. But that's also why this team does really well. That's why they've done it really well. So they'll just be very real with you about what it takes. But here's what I'm going to recommend. If you can rise up, it changes everything. Changes everything. 2019 could be the year that changes everything. For us, it was 2004. Okay, 2004. That was the year I made $13,000. But in 2005, I made $104,000 because I made 50 grand at my job. I made 54 grand here. And it wasn't 2005 is when it happened. Okay, 2004 is when it all changed. And everyone wants to get to the results, but there's going to be a year that changes everything. And personally, I hope for you and your family, I hope 2019 is that year for you. And good vehicle and great mentorship helps it a lot. Helps the cause a lot. Cool. I'm going to bring up Alexis. She's going to wrap things up. Pleasure sharing with you guys. God bless you. And Happy New Year. Make it a good year. Peace.
Thank you so much, Mark and Meredith. We are all wrapped up for the evening. If this is your first or second time out and you haven't had a chance to meet Mark and Meredith yet, they actually have agreed to stick around. They're going to be out in the hallway. If you want to bounce a quick question off of them, now would be a time to do that. Business owners, we will be back in about 15 minutes for some additional training. Everyone else have a safe drive home, and let's give Mark and Meredith one more round of applause.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. The police and the firemen, I'm too hot. Like a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too hot. Say my name, you know who I am, I'm too hot. My band by the pen, one break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Believe me, just watch.
the roll. Nice shirt. It's a nice shirt, Danny. Everybody give it up for Danny and his nice shirt. Not all at once. Oh, there he is again with that nice shirt. Modeling for us. It's very nice. Ton of people here tonight, guys. Super exciting stuff. Which is why I'm giving you an extended amount of time to grab your seats. And we'll get this thing started. Everybody having a good night so far? Yeah. Absolutely, man. Dude, energy in here was crazy during the info session. I mean, Mark and Meredith killed it as always. All right, I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to find seats. I realize there's still like a ton of guests out in the hallway and stuff, which is awesome and recommended. So giving you guys a chance to kind of filter in and out. Waldo, can I get you to close the doors? Start kicking folks out, man. Like you're in or you're out. Make a decision. Come on. So, steady filtering. The filtering never stops. All righty, guys. We'll get things kicked off. So, again, hello, everybody. My name is Sam Carrion, one half of Sam and Jess. I'm 27 years old. My wife's 28. I've got a background in personal training. She does some sales during the day. We're personally sponsored by Victor Barahona, part of the COSEC, Nathan, everybody going Diamond team. It's awesome. Up here, guys, to get training started for you guys tonight. And for some of my folks in here, I see some fresh faces. Maybe I just don't know you personally yet. Maybe this is your first, second, third training or whatever. I know most of the time you guys are, familiar with getting going with training, having a little bit of a just like organizational part, calendar a lot of times, just to kind of make sure that people have some key dates and just key information and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that started for you guys, and then I'm going to be bringing up Derek actually shortly thereafter, because guys, we have such a cool recognition that we've got planned for you guys tonight. So definitely want to give him tons of time to not only recognize all the awesome stuff that all the IBOs in here are doing, but really to give him the time to explain why it's so awesome. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, anybody can get started in Amway. Anybody can send their money in, get an IBO number, and technically be in business. But guys, it is so different going from I'm in business, I have an IBO number, I'm registered, to actually making it work. And that's what Derek's going to come up here in a bit to do, is explain, hey, here are a ton of people tangibly in the room that are not only making this work, but guys, at a level that I've never even seen before, and I've been in business for a little bit. So again, here to get calendar started though for you guys, let you know about some key dates coming up so that you can take advantage of all of the awesome, not only energy, but the environment and the different meetings going on here in the area. So first and foremost, good to see you guys all tonight on this Wednesday evening. But remember, for next week for info sessions, I know Nathan team, you guys, typically have your Tuesday meetings, COSECs on Mondays. We're a little spread out. Next week, we're doing a combined Chicagoland info session, right? Exactly. It's not only, it's going to be next Wednesday as well, but it is not here. Not here. Not here. If you're here, you're going to be high-fiving, the guys that are valeting and moving cars out in front, because it's just going to be you and them, hopefully you showing the plan to them. Everybody else is going to be in Oak Brook. At the Hilton in Oak Brook, I believe exact details are going to come out on the app shortly for that. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on your LTD messaging app so you're staying up to date, because honestly, again, in an environment like this with all the growth that's happening, if you're not constantly plugged into your message app, new folks, you're missing stuff left and right. Not only key information like where I need to be, what night, what time, but also awesome growth stories and everything like that. So again, next Wednesday, combined Chicago info session. And here's the cool thing. I mean, you guys are going to see a phenomenal recognition tonight. You're going to see a lot of people making money, sponsoring legs, teams going silver, that platinum project that they talk about every week in the plan. You're going to see a lot of that tonight, but you're honestly going to see double, triple that come next Wednesday, because there's not only people making this thing happen here, like in the downtown Chicago area, but, the suburbs crew, the Kruger team out there is on fire. You got teams all across the board that are making it happen. So be on the lookout for that. Next thing, we've got this thing coming up mid-January. You guys might have heard of it. It's this thing called Winter Conference or something like that. Exactly. I'm like, if you don't know what that is, you better find out, because it is going to be crazy, guys. For some of you guys that are, first timers, again, maybe you've never been to a major LTD conference or anything like that before. Super incredible opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to not only learn at an accelerated rate, learn at a higher level, but learn from people with tangible results. And that's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I always really latched onto. I was one to I don't know if anyone can relate to this, but like question like everything. Like mom said, do this way. I was like, well, why, mom? You know what I mean? And parents don't like that. Teacher said, hey, Sam, I need you to do this way. You're like, I'm not listening to you either. Like, But the thing that's different here is I remember getting started, and Derek explained I got started at like maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks before my first opportunity to go to a major conference. It was actually a summit. And I remember, the whole thing, people shouting for it, people standing up, they had their ticket. I was the new guy, like a lot of you new folks here, that's like, why are these people so excited to go to some business meeting? I just totally didn't get it. And honestly, it was funny because the thing that Derek, he didn't preach at me about like why I just needed to go and just like go or, whatever. He took the time to explain like the value of it, took the time to explain, hey, for example, at this coming conference, we're going to have, I believe, something around 3-4 different diamonds in business. People that have not only gone platinum themselves, but have helped at least 6 other singles, couples, what have you, on their teams go platinum. Average diamond on the low end makes around $250,000 a year, most of them plus. And it's not just the fact that you're learning from people like that, but people that are super, super willing to invest in you. I challenge any new person here, especially if you had, something going on that weekend, which is January 18th, 19th, and 20th, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, down in North Carolina, I believe. If you got something that weekend, I recommend, here's the thing, ask questions. You know what I mean? Find out why is it that 99% of IBOs attend these conferences. Find out why, they say that people don't go platinum unless they go to these conferences. Ask those questions and be willing to listen is all I'm saying. Because in my time in business, I know for Jess and myself, those conferences have been super, super impactful for us. But if honestly, I would accredit a bunch of our, the success that we have had to being at those weekend conferences. Because the thing is, you get the chance to hear from so many different speakers that have so many different styles that apply and appeal to different people. So, I might go to a conference and enjoy hearing this speaker, whereas, someone else might enjoy it from another person's point of view a little bit better. So the point is find that stuff out for you. And I say that to say, again, I want to actually see, stand up real quick if you already have your ticket for that. I know it's in a handful of weeks, but stand on up. Raise the roof and back if you're going. Thank you, Kevin. We got some of these. All right, good. Glad to see it. So here's the thing. If you've already made the decision to go, whether you have your ticket or not, make sure that you guys are figuring out transportation. I know Derek and Robin Kruger had actually organized a handful of months ago for us a way to just simply get down and back. Because you guys realize it's like something around a 12 or 13 or something like that hour drive down there. And I don't know about you guys, but I have like a hard time paying attention to like simple things for 30 minutes, let alone the road for multiple hours. And I value life. So I said, hey, bus driver, if you want to drive me, I can sleep real good. There's one thing I'm good at. It's falling asleep in anywhere. So for those of you guys that haven't, figured that out, I know bus tickets are on sale. You can either get them on the LTD messaging app. I know our upline, Derek and Jill, they had sent out some sort of like a link where you can find it. If you haven't had access to that, again, check with your upline, or if not, I know you can also just turn in cash to your upline platinums and you can make it happen that way, just so you can reserve your seat on the bus. Because we actually got a message earlier today. It said that deadline for a guaranteed seat is January 10th. So I believe today's the 2nd. So a little over a week from now, you're going to want to have that all locked up and figured out so that you're good to go there. Got it? Everyone got that stuff written down? Perfect. Now, I know Derek's supposed to be coming up here for recognition in a second. Man, look at that timing. That's just like Russell Wilson giving one of his 20 assists to PG-13 over here. Slam dunk alley-oop. Guys, help me welcome up Derek for that awesome recognition we told you about. Here we go.
You're handing out excess there. I'll take one. Have a seat. Save it. You're going to be doing a lot of clapping tonight, so don't waste it on me. We are Derek and Jill Kosek, firstly sponsored by 1,000 Strong and Diamonds this year. Mark and Meredith Nathan, all the way up through Aaron and Lisa Schmidt and 100,000 Strong, Larry and Pam Winters. I have a former background in executive recruiting and professional soccer, and Jill in dental marketing. We have 2 kids at home, one 4-year-old Charlotte and a 1-year-old Jackson, and definitely pumped to be here. I'm going to keep this fairly short and sweet because I want to get into recognition and get Mark and Meredith up here. That's why you guys are here tonight. And I just got to tell you, obviously, if you couldn't already tell, Chicago is on fire. I mean, we had 2 rows of standing, during the plan. We're going to have to get a bigger room, which is an awesome thing. So tonight, my job is real simple. I'm here to point out the things people are doing to move on in business. So newer or veteran, I would pay attention. These are things people are doing to hit different pins, grow through the pin brackets, and make more money, right? So we're going to start with some very simple things. First and foremost, I know Sam just went over Winter Conference is coming up January 18th through the 20th, and I cannot tell you how good that is going to be. We just got a message today from Larry and Pam Winters, the couple that's running it, and in conjunction with working with the other 4 diamonds that will be there. And it is crazy the amount of growth that they are having across the country. I mean, literally hundreds and thousands of people are getting started each and every month. I mean, I think they're averaging about 1,500 to 2,000 people growing in LTD on a monthly basis. So that's better than a sharp stick in the eye. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty good. So tonight we're going to start with that. Anybody that already has their winter conference ticket, go ahead and stand up. I want to recognize you guys again for that, because that is a huge decision to move your business forward. Awesome. And here, good job. And here's why that's important, because if you get around those people, you will start to learn and think like them and produce like them. If there's going to be 4, 5, 6 people there that are making, strong 6, some 7-figure incomes, probably a good place to be. Okay, so definitely get ready for that. That's going to be an amazing event coming up here in January. Understand too, bus tickets are due by next Thursday, a week from Thursday. So make sure you check upline with that so that you are not walking, because it's a long way to North Carolina or South Carolina or wherever we're going on the East Coast. So just get on the bus, take a nap, have some fun. It'll be easy. So that said, the second thing we will recognize here in a second is volume. That's obviously what gets your business growing. But before I do that, we want to obviously grow the business. Like Mark said, we're looking to partner with more like-minded people. So one of the standards we set on the team is to try to show at least a minimum of 2 QIs a week. If you're new in here, QI stands for quality interview. It's a little 15, 20-minute overview, kind of conceptual, see if people are ready to be invited out to the info session. So if you did 2 QIs or more last week, go ahead and stand up. We just want to recognize you guys. We're just going to give them a round of applause. So all the 2 QIers, it's good stuff. Andy, nice job, my man. Good stuff, bro. Nice job. So that is people that are moving their business forward, and that's a mark that if you're starting 2019 right, I would definitely put down as a goal to make sure you start doing that on a weekly basis, because if you're doing that on a weekly basis, you're going to grow your organization. Now, here's really why we're here tonight. One of the main reasons is to recognize new pins. Okay, so Mark went over the bonus chart, and he covers how as you grow and expand volume and more products move, more money is made. So what we're going to start with tonight, very simply, is the first rung on the bonus chart. It's you making sure you set an example. And here's a tip. One of the first things, if you want a big team, is you've got to be the example that you want duplicated. Okay, if you're taking notes, write this down. This is Mark Nathan 101. If you had 100 people on your team doing the volume you do, would you be excited? Some of you are going to be jacked. Some of you are like, I'm going to fix that real quick, right? So what standard do you set? Do you have a ditto on the first? Do you do your core volume or more, right? Because if you want a team of 100 people to do that, you've got to set that standard. I know most of you are doing that, but if you're new in here, that's a step you got to get in place. So anybody that's hit at least 100 PV, not yet 300 for the first time last month, go ahead and stand up. New 100s, new 50, 150s. You guys stand up. We want to recognize you. So nice job. Nice job. Well done. Well done. Awesome. And that's more important than you realize, because you got to start transitioning your buying habits. You got to start creating some customers in order for your team to start doing that. So Mark always said that's one of the most important steps, because you got to get that right. Now, moving along, as you move into 300 points, not yet 600, that means you're probably getting a nice customer base built. Maybe you did sponsor your first team member, and they're starting to do some volume. So if you hit 300 PV, but not yet 600 PV, why don't you go ahead and stand up and be recognized for that? We want to give you guys a big pat. Oh, a lot of them. All right. New 300s, Manny, nice. Sebastian, well done, guys. Well done. Awesome. It's good stuff. A lot of 300s. That's good. That's a sign of growth. Awesome. Moving right along. Next rung is? Good. I was just making sure you know. So 600 points. You probably have at least 2-3 people getting started on your team now. You're starting to get some momentum building. You're starting to get some new team members that are contributing to that. So new 600 is not yet 1,000. Go ahead and stand up. We want to recognize you guys. Awesome. Ladies representing. Well done. Well done. All right, now it starts getting good. We call this the believer's pin, the comma club. There's just something about having commas in any sort of number. You feel good about it, right? Especially if there's a plus and not a negative sign in front of it. It's a good thing, right? Like, think about it. The more commas you have, the more figures you have in your bank account. So same thing with PV. What's cool here, we're going to recognize new thousands and 1500s together. It's two different pins, but new thousands and 1500s. And at this point, you probably got a nice $400, $500, $600, $700 a month coming in. You probably got a pretty nice team coming on. 10, 12, maybe 15 people are starting to get started in your organization, and you are starting to really move through the pin bracket. So if you're a new 1,000 or 1,500, come on up. Let's make some noise for those guys because they are starting to move on in a big way. Man, look at them all. Jeez. Okay. All right. So thousands at the front, 1,500s toward the back. Thousands towards the front, 1,500s towards the back. So that was like cool kid club right there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, here's what I want you to just picture. I just want you to picture if you sponsored any 7 of these people, 6 to 7 of these people, okay? You would be a new 7,500 PVer. Okay, just if you found, you knew, you reconnected with any 6 to 7 of these people, you would basically be producing a very strong $3 or $4 grand a month. So we're gonna have you guys just introduce yourself, make sure you know your stats, name, upline, who sponsored you, all that fun stuff, and a quick tip. Obviously, we got a ton of growth here, so a quick tip, 30 seconds or less, and we'll keep it moving. So here you go.
Hi guys, my name is Carlos Saavedra. I'm 18 years old. I'm directly sponsored by Liam Utley, repping Humming Crew, to Derek and Jill going diamond, all the way up to Mark and Meredith Nathan going diamond as well. Little tip, listen to your coach.
Pretty simple. Now, here's a tip too. We typically say sponsor in the bell curve, right? 22, 23 and up. That's typically the age range you want. But when you find somebody that's 18 that's got their stuff together, do you have a job?
Yeah.
Have you been on Ditto basically since your first full month?
Yes.
Have you been at literally every info session, jam session, anything you can get to?
Yeah, I tried to.
You tried to like hang out with your upline even on, do you text me randomly at 11 at night saying, are you up? Like I'm old. Do you think I'm ancient here? Of course I'm up, right? Are you up, young gun? But my point is he's constantly chasing knowledge. And if you are going to work with somebody in the younger age groups, they got to be hungry. They got to be willing to play at an adult level. So we're proud of you, dude. New 1,000. Well done. Good job.
My name is Diego Zarito. I'm personally sponsored for Chantel Williamson, and I'm part of the Champion Gallery. Yes. What I do is I'm currently a warehouse worker, and quick tip is stay focused and always communicating with upline.
Cool. So you work in tandem with your upline, stay focused on your goals, and fought to get it done. We're proud of you, man. Good job. Awesome.
What's up, guys? Ryan Rice, 36, warehouse manager during the day, part of the platinum qualification Berniac team. Won 1,000. So my tip: believe in yourself, believe in your upline, communicate, and just get the job done.
It's awesome, man. Way to stay focused. Fought to the last minute. Good job. All right.
Hello, my name is Joanne Jones. I'm affectionately known as Mama Jones because I'm 61 years old, and before the end of the month is over, God willing, I'll be 62. But the app tells me I'm 50 years old.
Amen to that. Nutrilite and artistry do amazing things.
Yeah. I went over 1,000. It was hard work, but I'm sponsored by my daughter. Excuse me. Jasmine Jones. There she with the crutches. I was really not just moseying along until, the 9 core steps that you do, and she re-emphasized that to me. And I wanted to help her go silver. So, just emotion.
That's awesome. So 2 important things there. For real, though. There's 2 very important tips. 9 core steps. 9 core, not 7 3/4. not 5 when you feel like it, 9 core steps. That is huge. And then what she talked about, and a lot of these guys have talked about, is attaching your goals to a bigger upline's goals. And it pulls the best out of you, doesn't it? It's pretty cool. We're proud of you. Way to go. Nice job. Mama Jones, way to go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Keyshawn Woods. I'm 20 years old, personally sponsored by Imani Abernathy. She's a new 2500, by the way. But I'm part of the champion gallery. Yes. All the way up to the Diamond Cougars. Yeah, I won 1,000. But a good tip I can just say is, just stay focused on your goals. And one of the things I did was just tie my goals up to my upline's goals, She had a big goal of going 2,500. It was a stretch for me to go 1,000. So I did that to, make sure my upline met her goals, and I met mine, But a good thing I could just say, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And I got that from my upline. I just want to say, if it's meant to be, it's up to you. This is your business. So,
bam, 2019, here we come.
Silver in 2019, Jordan Singley. Thanks.
That's her upline, if you couldn't tell.
25, background in customer service, sponsored by soon-to-be Humastons on the Humming Crew, all the way up to y'all and the Nathans.
So new 1,000, and you had a solid customer base as well as team coming on, which is pretty cool, and set the goal and fought. One tip for these guys that helped you go 1,000.
Communicate with your upline. And I just tied my goals with my upline, so I'm trying to get them.
Another similar theme there. Pretty cool. Communication's been big, though. Good job.
Hi, guys. My name is Leslie. I am 28 years old. I am personally sponsored by Silver and March Eddie Tejeda on the 2019 Diamond COSEC team. I work in HR, and I reached the 1,000 pin level. And pretty much, like they said, communication is everything. Knowing what goal your team, the big team, is reaching, and also just keeping that personal goal in front of you and just going. I mean, we talk to people every day, just approaching everyone about business and about products.
Pretty cool. Now, you didn't just go like 1,001. You smoked your goal, right? You were actually knocking on the door of 1,500, which is pretty cool. Okay. Here's a tip. Don't hit goals, smoke goals. Okay. One of the biggest reasons people don't hit the goal they're aiming for is they try to do just enough instead of running through the finish line. And that's what you and your team did. And as a result, you've got some amazing momentum happening in your group. So we're proud of you. Good job.
Hey, everybody. My name is Joe Dorsonville. I'm personally sponsored by Greg and Emma Wilson on the Kruger team. I won 1,000 this month. Oh, last month, I guess. It really was a team effort, and I'm not just talking about my team or my downline, but attaching my goals to my upline's goals, which everybody has said that. So
highlight it, underline it, star it. Well done, man. Proud of you, man. Good job.
Hi, I'm Elaine Drashik. I'm 21 years old. I have a background in forensic science criminology, and I'm sponsored by Javier Martinez on the Gonzalez team, and I went 1,000.
Cool. One tip for these guys, new 1,000, moving on.
Just have a figure it out mentality.
Ooh, good one. Yes, because goals are great, but they never happen the way you think. Good job.
My name is Fong Nguyen, personally sponsored by Bella and Jen out of Northern Virginia on the Shabaka Nathan Going Diamond team.
Nice. One tip?
Believe in yourself. When I first met Mark and Meredith, there was just this presence about them that I saw when I first took a glimpse at them. And it was something that I just want to say, believe in yourself. And faith works when you walk it out.
Nice. All right. What's up, everybody?
We are Ravi and Laura Doda. We are personally sponsored by Mark and Meredith Nathan, 2019 Diamonds.
Yeah.
What's up? So we just hit 1,000 together last month, and as far as tips, I'm pretty much going to just piggyback off of what everybody else was saying. Just number one, just remember it's a team effort, right? If you think of it, as an individual goal, it doesn't work out that well. So just remember, it's a team effort. You're working for, not working, but you're putting efforts towards the goals of other people. And yeah, just listen to your uplines, follow good coaching, and it'll all work out.
And what do you do for a living during the day?
Oh, okay. So during the day and night, I'm a ER doctor. I've been doing it for about 11 years. Former X-ray tech right here. So
pretty cool. So again, there's different, age groups, backgrounds, profession levels. A lot of people, when I got started anyway, I'll speak for me, talking to a doctor, I would have thought, well, what do I have to offer? It's not what you have to offer, it's what the system has to offer. So folks like that see the value, do well already, but want to do better, right? So talk to the people, like Mark was saying during the plan, your ambition level and above. So proud of you guys. Like 6, get it done, man. It's awesome.
My name is Victor Alquicida, 23 years old. Personally mentored by Diamonds, Derek, and Joe Kosek, and I also have a background getting that Panera bread. And I'm out here. My biggest tip for me is always about getting single-minded. Honestly, when I wasn't growing, either whether it was sponsorship or volume, it was when I was doing the youth mentorship programs, the open mics, the performances, and just adding on a lot of work that was in building the kind of future that I wanted. And as soon as I made a decision that this is the business that I wanted to build, is the kind of life that I wanted to build, and I backed it up with the action, that's when things started picking up and started rolling from there. So that's the biggest tip I can give.
Awesome job, Vic. Well done.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Endrinal. I am 22 at the moment, be turning 23 in about a week. I have a major in biomedical engineering. I work part-time in retail, and I broke 1,000 last month. One tip I can give you guys is, just want to piggyback off of everybody else before me, was work for the big team, honestly. And something I just learned from Derek Kosek is if you're going to set a goal that's just above. For example, my goal was to be a brand new 1,100, and I just went shy of 1,000. Because if you just fall short of that new goal, you just make just bare minimum of what you're expecting.
Good, man. Well done. You went 600 and 1,000 this month, so we're proud of you, man. Good job. Awesome.
Hello, we're Tevin and Tania DeLosa. We're personally sponsored by Adam Lara on the Diamond West team. I am 24, he's 23. I'm a stay-at-home mom, also do some ministry, and he works for a truck servicing company.
One tip I would say is just commit sooner. It's not as hard as you think.
Enough said. Well done.
Hi guys, we are Jesse and Arisha Owens. We are both 35. All right now. We're both 35. Background in customer service. He's in logistics. Just one tip, again, tie your goals to your upline. We were helping them get the second month in. Reached out to some new customers, reached out to some former downlines. So just being confident in the products. And hey, it came together.
Nice job. Proud of you guys.
What's up, guys? Robbie Short, 21, personally sponsored by Brent. I'm a DMP Sanchez Friello Silver in December Moreno team. Yeah, I broke 1,500 last month, and I guess one tip would be do the 9 core with a positive mental attitude.
Nice. And Mark was telling me you've been on a sponsoring tear lately. Literally, you got a goal of, I think, sponsoring like 10 or 12 legs over a 3-4 month window, and you've just been after it. You're part way through that goal already. I think got 4 or 5 in the works or started or about to be started. And so you're getting that width, okay? Jot this down. Structure yields results. Structure begins with getting width. So we're proud of you, dude. Awesome stuff. Keep it rolling.
Hi, I'm Liam Utley, sponsored by Anthony Coles on the Humming Crew. Background in manufacturing. A tip: remember your why, and it is a team a team effort. I couldn't have done this without my team. Sebastian with a new 300, Jeremy with a new 300, Carlos with 1,000. You know, that's awesome. So,
are you fairly introverted by nature?
Yes.
Is this your comfort zone right here?
No.
Now I say that because, again, people will say, or I've heard from people, well, I'm not the right personality type. I'm not the type of person who succeeds in something like that. If you're human and you're willing to learn and do some basic things, you can succeed. So we're proud of you, dude. Keep it rolling, man. Awesome. All right, moving along. Let's do this just for the sake of speed. We're going to do new 2,500s, 4,000s, and 6,000s for the first time last month. Come up stage left, make some noise for them. Let's do this quickly because we still got all the new silvers. So let's keep it moving. 2,500s, 4,000s, and 6,000s. Come on down. 2,500s toward the front, 4,000s in the middle, and 6,000s at the back. 2,500s, come on, let's get this rolling. It's past your grandma's bedtime. Let's do this.
Hi, Anthony Coles. Sponsored by my brother Josh Coles, repping the Homie Crew, all the way up to Kyle and Carly soon-to-be Humison, up to the Cossacks and Diamond Nathans.
Awesome. So brand new 2,500. Quick tip.
Quick tip was I had my goals set, obviously a little bit above, but I wasn't even worried about my goals. I was worried about my upline's goals because this needed to happen for the Cossacks and the Nathans no matter what. So
refuse to lose. Love it, man. Proud of you.
Yep. What's up, guys? Brent FM. How old am I? 28. Personally sponsored by DMP on the Platinum Sanchez Fiorello Platinum Moreno Diamond Nathan team this year. Background, went to Northwestern, studied music psychology, and background in sales and stuff like that. One tip, I guess just do whatever it takes to satisfy the big team goal and push for any qualifier that your upline sets, no matter how small or it may seem. I mean, just go for it because, we smoked all our goals. We went over on the 15th of the month. It was awesome, and it was total team effort. So
it's awesome, man. Good job. New 2,500.
How's everybody doing? My name is Christian Drumgool. I'm personally sponsored by Sam Stewart on the Champion Gallery team. I have a background in the food industry, but I currently am a manager at UPS, and I went 2,500. One tip that
Is this from that 2,500 money? I like it. You're looking fine. I like it, man.
I appreciate it. It's a little Christmas gift. A couple of tips, but one major tip. My upline had a goal, and I wanted to be a big part, be the next one to have the closest goal to him. So I just tied myself right at his hip, and I was like, you know what, whatever it takes, we got this, we're gonna do it. And I saw that he was right there, and I looked at my PV, and I was like, oh, okay, shoot, I'll do it too. Let's go. So just tie your goals to your upline goals, and have a refuse to lose mentality.
Nice. You're hearing a lot of commonalities. Awesome.
2,500. Hi, guys. My name is Samuel Stewart, 22 years old. 22 years old, personally sponsored by Quinn and Brittany James, part of the Champion Gallery. Yes, all the way up to the Diamond Kruger team. Former background in the food industry, current background in warehousing. Quick tip really is just more so, man, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I really don't want to do it. But I saw the bigger team was moving on, and I just wanted to kind of signal like, hey, don't leave us behind either. We're coming right behind you guys. So just tie to your upline and move on with them.
Cool. Excellent.
Hi, guys. We are Danny and Lainey Spirited, both 31. Nurses during the day, part of the takeover team and part of the Diamond Cossacks in 2019. Quick tip is have a goal with a deadline, because a goal without a deadline, without a game plan with your upline is just a dream. So breaking that goal down throughout the month actually becomes less of a mountain, and each of those small goals becomes, a really big thing. So that's just my little tip, because sometimes, you get overwhelmed with this, oh my gosh, 2,500. But if you break that down, you can really surpass your goals.
So break your goal down into bite-sized chunks, right? Heard on an old CD, how do you eat an elephant? I don't know why you would. Don't ask that question. But if you're going to eat an elephant, you do it one bite at a time. And any goal, you break down into bite-sized chunks. So good job. New 2,500s. Well done.
Hi, everybody. I am David Nathaniel Pollack, personally sponsored by Qualified Platinums, Xavier and Alexi Sanchez on the qualified platinum Fiorello, Moreno, qualified diamond Nathan team. So yeah, it's been said a lot, but just attach yourself to an upline goals. If you have an upline going silver, if you have an upline hitting a pin, just attach yourself to those goals, move on with your upline, move on with your downline. And I mean, Brent just said it, but we hit our goals real big, real early, and we just did that because we want to inspire everyone who's about to go silver over the next 3 months.
Yeah, getting it done on the 15th is muy bueno. Muy bueno. So well done, man. Proud of you guys. Awesome. Lots of growth.
Hey guys, we are qualified platinums in 2019, Xavier and Alexi Sanchez. We are personally sponsored by Dave and Sarah Fiorello on the amazing qualified platinum Moreno team and of course the qualified diamond Nathan team. We are both 28 years old. I have a background in theater, composing, and performing. During the day, I work in the manufacturing industry. Xavier has a background in IT for a logistics company.
And one tip.
Oh, and we're new 6000s.
That's good.
That's a tip. No, for real. So the biggest thing for us, there are only so many times you can pay back your upline for all the times that they've sown seeds into your team, into your organization, into the things that they've done for you. There are only there's a few amount of times when it actually matters. Right now, us helping the Morenos go platinum isn't just about us. It's about them going platinum so that the Nathans can go diamond. Because we know that our upline has loved on us, has been there for us in the toughest of times. And you know what? When we lift them up to another level, because they're on a bigger stage and a bigger platform, they can reach and impact way more people. So that's what we're excited to continue.
Cool. New 6000s knocking on the door of silver. Well done. All right.
Hey, David Fiorello. Hey, guys. David Fiorello of David and Sarah Fiorello. We are both in our mid-30s. I honestly can't remember exactly how old we are right now. But we are part of the incredible Moreno that's going platinum team for the going diamond Nathan team. My wife was a chef in some of the highest rated restaurants, as you can see. And I am a musician by day. I teach at Columbia University and do a whole bunch of other things. But no, we're new 6000s. Of course, that is because of an awesome team. Just I think one tip would be remember to keep sowing seeds. You never know when things are going to come up. There are a lot of people that you're like, this is the person that's going to change my entire business, and that person's gone. And then there are people where your upline's like, I don't think this person's getting started, and then they're new 6000s. So no, it really is, you never know. So just keep sowing seeds, and we're just so excited for what the Moreno team is doing because, your upline, whether you're part of a huge team that's like right on the cusp or whether you're, significantly down in depth, anybody that's trying to go platinum, anybody that's trying to go diamond, they put so much work already into sowing seeds, and they deserve all of it. So if you can play a small role or a big role, play that role and suit up and do it. So that's just one tip, but thank you.
Cool. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And if you heard their backgrounds, professor at Columbia, right? So rather than call them the student at Columbia, call the professor. Okay, because they go 6,000. Award-winning chef. I mean, that's the type of people you want. People that have shown some success in other avenues that you can tie into this. So let's wrap up with the top pin we're going to be recognizing tonight, and that is brand new silvers, brand new 7,500 PVers. Okay, at this point, you are starting to make some noise. You're starting to make some good money. Typically, somewhere around 2,500, $3,000 on up. You're starting to make some pretty good cash flow. You got to crank an organization, and things are starting to get really, really good. So give it up. I want you to make a ton of noise. We got a whole bunch of brand new silvers last month. Bring them on up. Stage left. Make some noise. New silvers. You can stay up here. Jez. Yeah. All right. Y'all ready to meet some people making some money starting out in 2019? That January 15th check. Gonna be real nice. So introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Jasmine Jones, 27-year-old doctor, personally sponsored by my high school friend, Cornell Wiley. I'm also in silver. I'm part of the Champion Gallery team. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can't do that. So somebody else do that for
I got you.
I went up to the Diamond Cougars, and I went silver this month.
Now, just a little precursor. You do not have to break any legs actually in order to go silver. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't want to deter anybody. I'm just playing with you. So, but anyway, we're really proud of you. When did you get started? When did you see the plan?
I got started exactly 24 months ago.
24 months ago. You saw the plan on what day?
Christmas.
Christmas Day, right? And I don't say that because you have to show up on Christmas, but a lot of times people would miss an opportunity because they'd rather relax or chill out or whatever. And her upline showed her the plan. And here's how you know. She literally went 150 her first month, like 5 days later, right? She's been on it. She's up for showing plans every week. She's not on my team, but I got to see the progression from afar. And 24 months to make another $3,000. I mean, think at work in 24 months, you can't make another $3,000 in extra cash flow monthly, maybe in a year, but not monthly. And that is what's pretty cool. So let them know, doctor, you could have gone that route and focused solely on that like many people do. What is it about this business that you saw and what are you excited about moving forward?
For me, it's really about the bigger team. So I've always been a part of some type of groups, organization, but it's like these people, you all are special. And I was telling our team that as well, because I plug in here with the COSEC team. So, I mean, y'all are special. These aren't just like regular everyday people where you all really care about each other. Because when you win, I win. When I win, you win. Because if I can see you winning and you accomplishing your goals, it lets me know that, okay, I can do that too. Not just, oh, great for them. What about me type of thing. So I always knew I wanted to make an impact on people's lives. That's why I wanted to be a doctor. So when I saw that the level of platform that I could actually impact here, that made a difference for me. And I'm not a what if type of person. So I was just like, well, I already know I excelled in that. So let's excel in this too. So that's what I really wanted to be able to do. And at least for me and my line of sponsorship, they've been such great examples and they've done stuff for me that my family hasn't even done. So this is the way that I could pay them back by just growing my group. Because where my line of sponsorship is, we're all leg one. So why not keep it going? So
do you have any idea ballpark how much money you'll make this month? Have you calculated that at all?
Not exactly, but I know it's going to be over $2,500.
That's some good money. Well done. We're proud of you. Way to go, Miss Dr. Jones.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cornell Wiley. Personally sponsored by Quentin and Brittany James on the Champion Gallery. Yes. 27 years old, working insurance during the day.
Nice. If you're taking notes, he drinks black cherry excess. That might be a tip on going silver. I'm just saying. Drink more of it. At least when I was in the crowd, I was like, any secret I can get, write it down. One tip, man, moving on, going silver, being a big part of your upline, moving on. What's helped you get 7,500 points done?
Honestly, just wanted to validate Q&B's leadership. I mean, Quentin's been my mentor since I was 16 years old. So, there's been some things we've gone through that he's helped me get through that my family hasn't even done for me. And, I mean, they deserve it. They served more than I could ever probably repay them back. So just wanted to validate their leadership. And they made the call that they were breaking platinum. So I had to validate and step up.
Awesome, man. Proud of you. Your team's moving on, breaking a silver the same month. It's cool.
Oh, goody. Hey, we are Ann and Anthony Moreno, personally sponsored by my awesome brother and sister-in-law, Diamonds in 2019, Mark and Meredith Nathan. I'm 30. I'm an ER nurse. Anthony is 35. He's a fireman paramedic here in the city. And we have a 4-month-old baby boy, Eden Bear. And he's really cute. We are just so excited for our team and for Mark and Meredith going diamond. I mean, obviously Mark's my brother. He's been there for me my whole life, and just like literally, and like they believed in me when I was a 19-year-old scrappy kid living on their couch. Like they've always been there for me, and it's so. Nothing. It's so important for us to be part of their diamond ship, and I've always wanted to be one of their platinum legs. So we're so excited for our team moving on, and we're, I guess, like the things that we can say about our team is that we just had really strong dittos, and we had a game plan, and I think you've heard that a million times already, but Anthony's going to share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great nuggets. Even the thousands up here, we're just dropping some good nuggets up here. And you heard a lot about the game plan. 4 months ago, we got on a game plan with Mark and Meredith, and we were coming out of a function. That's a tip because there's a function coming up in a few weeks, right? So we're coming out of a function. We got on a game plan. We took the core group of guys that we had that wanted to make this thing happen. I mean, honestly, the Sanchez team, we couldn't stop this team from going over if we wanted to. Like, they were so jacked and excited about Alexi and Xavier going platinum this year as well. I mean, it's an awesome environment to be a part of. Another thing is we understood right away the importance of having a good ditto. And if you're brand new in the room, pay attention to when Mark comes up here and does a training about how to set yourself up for 2019, because understanding a ditto and understanding why you have a ditto was huge for our team and everyone. And we're excited for everyone to move on, and it's going to be a great year, guys.
Awesome job. We're proud of you. Leg 4, well done. Awesome.
Hi, guys. We are Sharon Andrew Bernia. I am 32. I'm a school social worker.
Hey, easy. He's taken, bro. He's taken. He's taken. Easy. You couldn't tell.
Sharon Andrew Berniak, 32, school social worker. Wait, I'm 33. He's 30. He works in HR for a law firm. We have a 3-year-old and a half-child. And we are sponsored by the Diamond Cosex all the way up through the Diamond Mark and Meredith Nathan. And we're like 4. I just wanted to give a quick shout out. I know she's streaming in, but to Jacqueline from California. This is actually her first full month in business. She's a new 600 downline of Jackie, who is a new 1500 in her second full month of business. So, but so many people on our team played a huge part. If I could just give one tip, I would just throw in there a little bit, communicate like every single day with your upline, and don't try and be Mr. or Mrs. Knowledge because your upline's already had the success. So just communicate, bad and good. And just learn how to fail. Not learn to fail, but learn how to fail, because for us, this is the 3rd time that we said we were going 7,500. And first time was kind of our fault because we just were so excited to go. We just said we were going to without really talking to our upline first. But, you know, so for you, whether that's maybe you feel like you totally messed up a phone call, or, you know, you missed a goal, or, you know, you feel like you showed a terrible QI, or whatever it may be, just learn how to fail. Because we always hear from our leaders, you know, failure, it leads to success, right? So we can be like a lot of the world that fails and, you know, it totally knocks them out of the game or slows them down. Or you can choose to pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, learn what you needed to learn from that failure, and then be more prepared for the success that's waiting for you. So learn how to fail. I don't know.
Marry up.
No, I just want to give a quick shout out. This was totally a team effort. You know, really one thing that we learned going this time to really hit that is that we really attached our goals to really, you know, the play was called from Mark and Meredith and Derek and Jill, you know, for us to go over. And, you know, we just game planned at the beginning of the month. And one thing I always heard Derek say was, you declare victory, then you charge. And, you know, this month we did that. And throughout the month, it came nothing together like we thought. But at the end of the month, it was there. And what's cool is the team behind us really formed up, and we had people that doubled their personal circles, like a Mario, Allison, Xavier, Armani, Manny, and Ryan's a new 1,000. And people just really stepped up because they know the impact that this can have for the Cosex and the Nathans, but also across LTD. And honestly, we're products of the system, and we're just excited to get it done and validate you guys and Mark and Meredith.
It's awesome. Proud of you guys. Well done. Well done. And quick shout out to the Takeover team. They're back in requalification, which is exciting. So good job, Takeover team. Eddie, Leslie, some of the folks in here. Danny and Laney, you saw some up here. So proud of you guys as well. So that said, we are going to move on. Is that pretty crazy, though? I mean, 4 new silvers in a month, guys. That wasn't the last year. That was the last 4 months. In fact, I believe in the last 3 months, just since Amway's fiscal year, which started in September, I believe Chicagoland has broken 8 new silvers. So we've been talking about breaking platinum. Silver is one step along the way to platinum. That is a sign of a very healthy organization. Larry has always taught us that if signs of growth are platinums and diamonds breaking, and you have a diamond couple coming up here to do training, okay? I would get your notepads ready. If you want to be moving through these pin brackets, you want to be some of these next silvers up here, you want to contribute to your upline, doing that, you want to apply all those tips they just gave. This couple, I don't even know how many silvers and platinums they've broken on their team. They're one of the most sought after couples, not just in LTD, by the way, around the world of Amway Global, okay? Actually, anytime we go to a larger event, I charge people $5 to take a picture with Mark and Meredith. Okay, I'm just kidding, I don't do that, but like, really, you can do that? Go for it. But literally, they are very sought after because they have the results. They have the fruit on the tree. I mean, $100,000 a month a couple months ago, multiple platinums breaking throughout their organization. Guys, tune in a little more, right? Pay attention a little more. Get that notepad a little bit more ready to get as much as you can out of this training and truly make this year your year. So without further ado, Diamonds 2019, Mark and Meredith Nathan.
Happy 2019, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good year. Grab a seat. So that was a lot of recognition. There are a lot of pins breaking. All those pins were amazing. All the tips and little nuggets. I hope you guys were paying attention to that. So we're gonna rock as fast and productive of a training as we can, because it's important. It's important to make sure that every year counts. I am very appreciative for the examples of everyone that is doing that, because I mean, we could talk about like, man, this year can be awesome and you could move forward and you could take it, you could take advantage of like all the things that are happening in this team and in the system. And, but if like people aren't actually like moving forward in life, there's only so much that people are going to believe, right? So the fact that all of, this training we're about to do is prefaced by the fact that there are a lot of people doing these things. Like they made December count, they made 2018 count for them. And I hope you guys are doing the same thing. So anyway, we're going to come fast and furious. It's going to be, some nuts and bolts. It's going to be some thought process on making sure 2019 counts as much as humanly possible. I turn over to my girl. 2018, you're not old news in my book. You're not an old news. Some of you guys that were here for the plan, I talked about her 2018 award that she won from the American Massage Therapy Association. She was named Pioneer of the Year from stuff she developed like many years ago with her freedom, and she's brilliant. I'm just like, it's 2019, honey. Okay, it's 2019.
It's time to move on.
Time to move on. Let's go. We can't rest on our laurels. No, she's awesome. She's amazing. 2018 was a great year for the Nathan team, the full Nathan team, the Nathan Kosek team. And the best is yet to come. Here's my girl. You ready?
Yeah. I love this room. People are like hanging off the ceilings and the doors are open and people are out in the halls. It's good stuff. It's a good night when the training's not starting until 10:23 because there's that much recognition happening. I know we would normally be done by now. So I am literally going to be so fast, so furious, as Mark said. I really just want to share with you guys, I think in moments like this, it's very easy to get excited and it's very easy to get caught up in the recognition of all these people that have just had these huge victories. And I think as a society, we tend to really glorify the big break, and the idea of the big break, like, oh, I got to get my big break. I got to get my big opportunity. It's that defining moment, because we watch movies and there's always this like, defining moment, right? There's some huge emotional climactic thing that happens, or there's this, really key event that happens. And then there's usually a montage of someone doing, whatever. If they're deciding that they're fat and they're going to get skinny, right? And then there's this montage of them like working out and eating right and all these sorts of things. And it takes a minute and a half to a song. And then on the other side of the song, they're skinny, so it wasn't really about what they did. It was about that moment of clarity. And then it kind of glosses over everything else, right? It's like falling in love scenes. They meet and they have that spark and there's that moment. And then it's a montage of them, going on dates and building their relationship and chasing through fields. And it's a minute and a half thing. And on the other side of it, they're like this totally, together couple. And that's what we see. And that's kind of what our brains are trained for. But you have to understand, in the grand context of things, that big moment of clarity, that big moment of decision, in the grand scheme of things, it is tiny compared to what actually created success, right? Because I would venture to say that we all have moments of clarity, and we all have moments of inspiration, and we all have moments where we say, you know what, this is my year. But it's not about the fact that you said that. It's about all the little things that you do after that. And in this business and in your life, there are no little things, right? It's all about your daily habits. It's all about your daily habits. There's an amazing Maxwell audio out there. I'm guessing if you've been around the business a minute, you've probably heard it. But if you're newer, you probably haven't. It's called The 5 Swings. Yeah, you know you love it. John Maxwell talks about the fact that he could observe you for a day, just pick any day. He could observe you for that day and know if you were going to be a success in life or not. Because it's not about the big moments, right? It's about all those little things you do every single day. My notes kind of went away. Your reality is really going to lie in your small daily consistencies. And time is either going to be your best friend or it's going to be your worst nightmare. Because those little things that you're either doing or not doing never seem like a big deal in the moment. Right? They never do. The day that you kind of cheated on your diet a little bit and everything, like that day doesn't feel like a big deal. And that day that you ate perfectly and worked out to the gym, like was kind of annoying and also doesn't seem like that big a deal. Right? But it's when you string enough of those days together that it makes change. And the same thing is true in your business. Right? It's all about your little habits. And John Maxwell goes on to make the analogy that these 5 swings, he talks about if you're going to, and I don't mean to like ruin the audio for you, you should still listen to the audio, by the way, there's a lot more than what I'm about to tell you. But he says, if you have a tree in your backyard and you go out and you just take 5 swings at that tree every single day, what do you know is eventually going to happen? The tree's going to fall, right? Now what happens though, if you take 5 swings at that tree today and tomorrow and the next day, but by the day after that, you're kind of bored of that tree. And you're like, that tree over there looks really good. You start hitting that tree. And then, every day you find a different tree to hack up, right? You don't have a single tree that's fallen down. You just got like a wounded and bloody forest, right? Of horribly injured trees, right? Is basically what you have. So you can tell I love trees. I'm a total tree hugger. But it's the same thing. You have to be consistent with the things that you're trying to do every single day. Likewise, here's something about that analogy, though, that never sat right with me, is that you know that if you take enough swings at a tree, you could stop for a year and then come back, but your progress is still there. This business doesn't work like that. And life doesn't really work like that because you build momentum, right? And when you take breaks from things, you typically don't get to start right where you left off. You typically have to start over. I think that we hear about habits and the importance of habits, and sometimes we can think it's this kind of like peaceful thing, right? It's this kind of peaceful thing where it's like, yeah, it's just about all the little things that I do in a day, and it doesn't have to be anything huge, and it's just about that compounding effect of the good habits, and there is a compounding effect for sure. But if I can be honest with you, when you're going platinum, it is going to look like fanatical habits for a season. Right? It doesn't need to be that way forever, right? Nobody goes at a fanatical pace forever in this business. But when you're going silver, when you're going platinum, chances are your habits are going to look pretty intense for a window of time. And then you'll be able to move into a more consistent pattern, which is going to be good. Man, oh man, I forgot to put this on auto lock. Needs my thumbprint. Just to give you a quick example, and then I'm going to pass it off to Mark. Some of these habits, though, you read, right? Who here knows that reading for 15 minutes a day, that's one of the 9 core steps, right? And some people choose to do a chapter a day, and some people do more than that, but at least 15 minutes. Do you realize that when you read 15 minutes a day, you essentially read, and all books are different sizes and all this kind of stuff, but you essentially read about a book a month, which ends up being 12 books a year, which over the course of the next 5 years is 60 books, which over the course of the next 10 years is 120 books. How many books did you read when you went through college? How many? Zero. Hold up, big goose eggs. I mean, even high school. How many books did you read going through high school? Maybe more because you probably were forced to read some books in high school. But I guarantee you it wasn't 120 books. So you realize that just by that simple act, you can give yourself an equivalent education, if not better, right? Listening to an audio a day. Right? Let's just do some quick basic math. How many like credit hours, like how many hours of classes is the average college student taking in a week? 16 in a week? 15 in a week? Okay, 15 is easier math, so we'll go with that. So over the course of a month, that's 60, right? 60 hours. So how many months is the average college student in school? What is it, like 8 months a year, 9 months a year? 9? 60 times 9, 540, right? 540 hours over the course of a year, okay? So what's that times 4? My amazing husband says 2,160. I'm not going to make a joke about him being Asian. That would be rude. But if he were holding the mic, he would be making jokes about himself. So 2,140 hours, right? Yeah, 2,140 hours. So what if you just listen to an audio a day, like is recommended with the 9-core? An audio runs between 30 minutes to 60 minutes typically, right? Maybe 45. I don't have a calculator in front of me, by the way. But basically, if you were just to listen to one a day, you know, basically we're saying, let's say 3,000 days, you would have accomplished that same amount of time in terms of listening to educational material. 3,000 days seems like a lot, right? But if you're actually doing it every day, what is that, like 8 years? I'm rounding here. I'm not using exact numbers. But the point is that you can literally turn your car into a rolling university. And, you know, you could pay, I paid $130,000 at the time. Now the school I went to is $260,000 to go for 4 years, right? But you could also be listening to an audio in your car as you're driving somewhere, and you could accomplish that same amount of education. Now, I'm not comparing apples to apples here, right? I mean, obviously it's different source material. I'm not trying to say that's what it is, right? So if there's any like Amway accreditation people in the audience, you know, I'm not saying that's what it is, just making a comparison, because for me personally, though I value my college education and I did love going to school, I feel like the skills that I have learned through this business have been so much more important for me in my life. But it didn't happen just because I got signed up, right? It happened because I engaged in a consistent program. Mark talked about volume, all these different things, all these consistencies. In any case, I've been talking up here way longer than I intended to. I'm going to pass it over to Mark so that he can get rolling with training, guys. The power is in your daily habits. Don't be afraid to be fanatical with those habits. It will pay off. Here's Mark.
Wow. That was a very jam-packed 10 minutes. That was unbelievably productive. I ain't never done a training in 10 minutes. But there's got to be a first time for everything. 2019, Brian says, like, today's not the day, bro. I need you to believe in me, Brian. I actually told these guys, a few guys earlier when I was starting the plan. We started a few minutes late. We started like 9:05 or 8:05 or something. I'm like, I'm going to be off that stage at 9:04. They humored me. Derek was a good sport about it. He's like, I believe in you, bro. You need to take some notes there, Brian. Believe, man, believe. Okay. See, this is why you can't believe, because I just spent a minute telling that story. Now I only got 9 minutes left. Jeez. I'm bad at that. Here's, I think, what most people miss going into New Year's. You always hear this phrase, success is when opportunity and preparedness meet, right? Success is when opportunity and preparedness meet. Everyone wants this year to be successful. Everyone wants their life to be successful. Everyone wants this month to be successful. But it's about success is opportunity and preparedness meeting. The problem is, here's the real issue. Most people don't know how to identify opportunity, and most people definitely don't understand what preparedness means. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about identifying opportunity, and let's talk about what preparing actually means. Here's what opportunity looks like. You ready? Everything Everything's an opportunity. Most people think that you have to have some big, gigantic goal. That's the opportunity. She was talking about the big break, the big moment. That's the opportunity. How many of you guys saw Creed? Anyone see Creed? Okay. Y'all saw Creed, but you didn't see Mary Poppins. Shame on you. Shame on you. It's one hand, one little lonely hand over here watching Mary Poppins. It's beautiful. It's an American classic, even though they're British. Anyway. Whatever, ignore that. Americans made it, though. That's what we do. We take what British people do and we make it better. Welcome to America. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's right. But Mary was talking about the big break, the big opportunity. For those of you guys that have not seen Creed, Creed is part of the Rocky series. So everyone knows Rocky? Yeah, okay. So Creed is part of the Rocky series. His old best friend / enemy from once upon a time, his son becomes a boxer, and now we pick up, okay? So Rocky's an old dude now. It's like Sylvester Stallone, he's old Rocky, he's an old dude, and here's this young guy, Creed's son, is this baby Creed, and he's coming through, baby Creed, and he's coming through the ranks. He's a grown man, okay, and he's trying to like get his break. He's trying to get his break, and he gets trained and all this kind of stuff, and he does get that big break. He gets an opportunity because of his name, and people want to see him fight. All of a sudden, he gets this heavyweight fight that he has no business fighting in. But he gets that break because of his name, okay? And everyone's like, oh man, that's his big break. And it is a big break. It is a great opportunity for him. But if you rewind back an hour earlier in the movie, you know what he had? He had an opportunity to train with Rocky. That was the opportunity. See, a lot of people, they look for the big stuff and you blow it with the small stuff. He never would have had the shot to go to box that dude, to get in the heavyweight ring if he didn't take the opportunity that he had an hour, months early, in the actual movie. But earlier in the movie, hey, here's Rocky. I think this guy can train me. I think this guy can help get me to the next level. He knows me, he believes me, he knows my dad, and he went and pursued that dude. And the movie, it's like a half hour. It's like their whole relationship building process. He's like trying to get after Rocky. Rocky, can you train me? Train me. Give me the shot. Give me this opportunity. And he is pursuing him. Was the opportunity to fight in the heavyweight title fight, was that a bigger opportunity than the opportunity that he had to create for himself once upon a time to get trained? Everyone's looking for the big stuff and you blow it with the small stuff. That's why you never get the big break. That's why you never get the big, huge opportunity that everyone's looking for, because you blew the small, tiny opportunity that everyone overlooks. Do you understand this month is an opportunity? If you just got started, do you know what you have an opportunity to do? You have an opportunity to do, you ready? Hit your goal. You have an opportunity to go 150 points. You have an opportunity to go core 300. You have an opportunity to be core. You have an opportunity to show up at the info sessions and come to the trainings and be at Winter Conference. That's an opportunity. Well, I want to go 7,500. I want to sponsor that person that's going to be huge. I want to sponsor, I want to be like, where's the dude on Gio's team that had like just getting registered tonight, getting started, had like 3 guests out tonight. Where's that dude? Desmond? Was that his name? Desmond. Yeah, you're doing good, man. But I want to sponsor that guy. I want to sponsor that guy because, he gets started, boom, he's just getting started. He's got a bunch of people, a bunch of his best friends and all that kind of stuff that are coming out. Yeah, you want that. But do you understand that before that happened, Gio was taking advantage of lots of small opportunities way before that? Do you understand that the opportunity to validate what this team is teaching you? Do you understand that all of these things that the team quote unquote requires, asks, standards that they set, they're not standards to make you feel bad. They're not standards to demand something from you like they're a boss. It is an opportunity for you. And if you don't see it like that, that's why your business isn't growing. Everything's an opportunity for me. When I was getting started, everything was an opportunity. The Winter Conference wasn't there for someone else. That was an opportunity for me. Hitting a goal wasn't for someone else. That was an opportunity for me. And most people don't understand how to identify opportunity. That's why they don't get the success that they want, because success is opportunity plus preparedness. And if you miss every opportunity that's in front of you, how on the planet are you ever going to be successful? That's opportunity. Let's talk about preparedness. Please get out of your mind that preparedness is just about studying. Please get out of your mind that preparedness is just about reading more books or listening to more audios. Now, I'm not saying that that's not part of it by any stretch of the imagination. But you know how you prepare? Here's what preparedness in one word, here's what it is. You ready? Action. You prepare by taking action. You don't prepare for the game on Saturday. You don't prepare for the Sunday night football game by just watching film. You got to lace up your cleats, you got to put on your pads, and you got to hit some people. You got to throw some weights on the bar, and you got to lift it a lot. You got to act. You got to do something. Intentions don't pay you anything. Intentions don't pay you nothing. Intentions don't produce anything. Intentions make you feel good. Intentions are they're a nice fake you out delusion. But intentions, if not acted upon, produce nothing tangible in your life. I'm going to think about my business and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to prepare, man. I'm going to read some books. And man, when I get people on my team, ooh, they're going to feel loved and appreciated, empowered. I'm going to help raise their leadership level. I'm going to Maxwell on them. It's going to be glorious. And then you talk to no one. Man, when I'm up on that stage and I'm getting recognized, I got lots of tips. Derek, listen, I know you want one tip. I got 4, okay? So hold on. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Can I hold the mic? Can I hold the mic? Okay, I got you. Man, I'm going to do so good. Getting recognized for a new pin level. Well, you better do really good. Having your ditto process. You better have a really good ditto. Because there's no chance on the planet you're going to be up here if you don't get your habits right. Listen, I'm going to say that again in case you missed it. I didn't say it's going to be difficult. I said you have no chance. 0. Is this okay? Are we hard? I mean, burst your bubble. I know it's only January 2nd. But you heard Manny and Candace, what they talk about. Your habits of today need to line up for your dreams of tomorrow. So when I'm saying it's going to be difficult, impossible, if it's going to be very difficult for you to be up here accomplishing your dreams and getting closer to your dreams, if your habits are not in line with anything that you're trying to do, it's going to be difficult. Preparedness is action. And we have something called the 9 core action steps. So maybe you should focus every month, every opportunity, every month that you have, and prepare with that month with your action, and that looks like the 9 core steps. I can probably predict how good you're going to be at the business and where you're going to be at this time next year based on your habits in the next couple of months. Now, at any point, you can decide to turn it on. You can make a click. You can, have your moment. You come to your upline moment and just be like, you know what? It's game time. I got it. And you mean it, and then everything changes. But you know what everything is? Your habits. So if you're going to have that moment, you might as well have it now. We good?
One last story. Just a quick little mindset thing. Totally blew it. Not even close to 10 minutes. We're at 12 right now, and I got one last story for you. But it's good. We're done. We're winding down. Relax. Gotcha. We're good. This year, I said goodbye to my dad. And there was a moment where, you know, he was kind of like, he had a pretty dramatic health plummet, and then, you know, it was kind of like he was walking, doing his own thing and whatnot, and then he lost a bunch of the vision in his eyes and started having some health stuff, okay? So then he was here, and then it's like every time he went to the hospital, he'd go down here, and then he'd come back and go through rehab, but then he'd never quite get back to where he was, right? So then be like, he goes here, and then he's, oh, we're back, and then down here, oh. And so like 18 hospital visits later, it gets, you know, the physical ability is a little bit lessened. And I remember there was one of the times I went to go visit him, he was, you know, some days were good, and some days were, you know, he's a little bit more lethargic. He just wasn't as communicative, whatnot. And, you know, one of the days we went, it was me and my brother. And, he just didn't have a whole lot of energy that day. He wasn't doing a whole lot of talking. And I told him about a couple nights ago, Meredith and I had chatted through a couple things and had an idea for a movie. I'm still, I'm a director in my head. And so, just write down different ideas and whatnot. But I had a thought on, a movie for the future that kind of involved my dad's story a little bit. Okay. And so we're writing it down and we're brainstorming one night and, late night, and we're just jotting down a couple ideas. And so I go visit my dad, and then I go over to him and I'm telling him a little bit about, like, hey, Dad, I want to tell you this because otherwise you might sue me later on if I used your likeness in a movie. Okay. I was just messing with him, but I was like, hey, I want to tell you this, I want to tell you this idea. And, even though he was pretty lethargic that day, he kind of looked up and he looked me in the eyes, and he gave me a little nod. He gave me a little smile. And I was like, okay, got it. Signed off, approved. Excellent. Matthew, you saw this? Okay, good. All right. And I went home that night, and my dad passed away that night. And that was the last time I ever saw my dad. I'm just glad that during that year and a half that we were spending a lot of time together and he was getting sick, it's just, what you do is you appreciate every second that you got. Because there would have been plenty of times that, I would think about something or do something or think about my dad or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, I'll tell him later. Or I'll do something with it later, because you're like, I'm going to see him. It's fine. It's no big deal. See, when there's an abundance of time, you appreciate things a little bit less. And what that did was that it kind of reminded us that just the time you got with the people you love is it's limited. It was just a reminder. It's always been limited, by the way. It was limited from the time I was 15. It was limited from the time I was 20 or 30. So it's always limited, but it's just, do you appreciate it and do you remember it? And so when he got sick, it just reminded us of the timeline that we were on. Okay. Now I share that story not so you can, definitely text your dad, let him know you love him. Okay. That's a thing. Tell your mom. But when you think you got a lot of time, you blow it. I don't know any other way to say it. When you think you got a lot of time, you just blow it, man. You just weeks go by and months go by and years go by and you frickin' blow it. And so when we're talking about making a year count, we can give you lots of thoughts on habits. We can give you lots of mentality and attitude and opportunity and preparedness. Yeah! And some of you guys, as I was talking, like, you want to run through a freaking wall right now. I saw, like, people are on the edge of taking down notes. It's great.
It's not about how high you jump when you're motivated. It's about how straight you walk when you come down to the ground. And, oh, yeah, that's amazing. That's right there. And you can write down all the quotes that you want, friends. But if you don't, here's the key word, appreciate. If you don't appreciate the year that's in front of you, you're going to blow it. You're going to blow it. There will be a year that's going to change everything in your life. There will also be a year that is, it's the last time that you're going to have access to Derek and Jill on the board every week. What? What are you talking about? Do you see us on the board every week? On the Monday info session? Were we there once upon a time? Do seasons change? I hope you appreciate the fact that the entire LTD Chicago team is growing, it's thriving, everyone's got each other's back. It's a positive environment. Some people, they'll look at that and they'll be like, man, it just seems like everyone's really excited. Yeah. And it's awesome. Why aren't you? But if you don't appreciate what's in front of you, you automatically blow it. This year, okay? Speak boldly. Speak boldly. Like everything that you want, this is the year to leave it all on the table, man. There is nothing that is too big to be talking about this year. We know this game. We've seen this before. And I'm telling you like a friend, you are going to wish that you talked bigger. If you're willing to back it up, I'm telling you, you're going to wish that you spoke bigger. Speak boldly. Take action. Act bravely. Stop hiding. Stop worrying. Just get yours, man. Desmond, get it. Those of you guys that are taking advantage of every month, I mean, I know there were thousands and 600s and everything in between. Listen, those are opportunities that you are taking and you are owning, and you need to keep building on it, man. Keep building, keep going to the next level. Speak boldly, act bravely. It's going to be a good year. We good? 2019. Anything and last year we talked about, hey, 2018 is going to be a lot of foundation, okay? You know, 2019? 2019 is you coming into your own, okay? I don't have cute little catchphrases for you or anything, but I'm telling you, 2018, there was a lot of like foundational stuff, man. People are just growing, they're working on themselves, taking action, figuring this thing out, okay? Learn how to get a good relationship with their upline, communicate, understand what they're a part of, understand, appreciating at a higher level. This year, man, it's a lot of people coming into their own. And you're starting to see it. You're starting to see it with 2,500s and 4,000, 6,000s, but man, this is the year. Speak boldly, act bravely, 2019. Let's get it. Cool? Cosex, you're going diamond this year. Nathan team, we're going diamond this year. Let's get it done. 2019's the year. We love you guys. We're going diamond, yeah!